What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Real Hunting, where we hunt for the good reels so you don't have to. Thanks for everybody who's going to be joining us here on this Sunday evening this late. We just wanted to pop in and do a live spoiler review and discussion for Zack Snyder's Justice League. We're jacked about it. We've been excited about this for some time. And we're waiting on Chris. We're going to get him in here in just a second. He's going to join us for the review, and it should be a good time. He's going to be here for our Beers with the Bros episode.
Our first live Beers with the Bros episode. It'll be Chris's debut on live.
You got that right, Steve. But we're excited to get in here and talk about this this movie tonight. We both watched it. It was a good time. Brett, how you doing this evening?
Man, I am jacked up. I've watched this Snyder cut in 5 hours. It's a 4-hour flick, but I've watched it in 5. I had a little complications during watching it where I had to take like a 45-minute break. But then once I got back into it, I didn't stop. This is fantastic. And screw that piece of crap that's called Justice League from 2017.
Dude, what a disappointment that was. That was the worst piece of, honestly, it was dog shit from a horse's ass.
Mm-hmm.
It was the clearest definition of that. And now seeing how different and unique this thing was, it's just even more disappointing. It tears. Yeah, it's absolutely awful. But yeah, I wasn't able to watch it all in one sitting. I watched it over the course of a few days. Each part, like a part at a time. I think the most I watched was maybe 2 parts at one point. But yeah, overall, it was a great time. I really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to get into it. What we're going to do is kind of just break it down one act at a time. Again, we're going to give some time for some people to jump into the chat if they want to. And once Chris gets here, we'll get rolling with it. But it should be a good time.
Yeah. So if anybody's here, we appreciate you being here. I know it's late. I know a lot of people got to go work in the morning. So stay as long as you want. And then just after the next day, you can check us out, or if you're just checking us out on the replay, we appreciate you, and we appreciate all the love and support for our channel because we're at 173 subscribers right now. So we are about, 25 with the dad, 27 subscribers until we can have a dance party for you guys.
Brett, I am always enthralled by your mathematics skills, my friend. It is fantastic.
That's what happens when you get old, man.
That's right. I like it. I dig it. Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to get rolling here. So you watched it all in one sitting. Obviously, did it feel long to you at that point?
Honestly, it felt like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, it went by pretty fast. I thought each segment went by pretty quick, and I was pretty excited to get to the next part. I didn't want it to stop at any point. And
it was nice. It was nicely paced, and that would be obviously the first positive of this movie. It was just nicely paced.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And but yeah, it was hey, Mikey's in the house too.
Well, I wonder who this is, though. That's the question.
That's a good question. I wonder who that is.
Probably nobody important. No, I'm kidding. She's very important.
Yeah.
Very important. And of course, we got Mikey here. How are you doing, Mikey? Which he recently hit 200 subscribers. So, Mikey, congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Congrats, my friend. Thanks for jumping in here tonight.
And we got Erica. How are you doing, Erica? Hello, men. I haven't seen this one, so I can't stay, but I wanted to drop in and say hello and good night to you both. Love you. And Erica, we love you too. And once you watch that Snyder cut, you can come right back onto this video we are doing. Because we were going to do a recording, and then Brad just decided, brought up a good point, like, we just need to go all out on this review. So we're just doing it live because it also helps with editing too. So easily come back, Erica, when you watch it. And we appreciate all the support.
Absolutely. So yeah, I appreciate it. And yeah, thanks a lot for being here. Just to stop in. It should be a good time. Like Brett said, once you're done, come back and check it out. We're going to have a nice, fun discussion here tonight. We didn't want to be limited by, a pre-recording where we can just only talk for, make it 30 minutes or whatever. We wanted to just be able to kind of flesh this thing out and have a good detailed discussion. And we're excited about it. We're going to give Chris a minute and then we'll start talking about it.
And we got like 7 parts to discuss too, so there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot. We're gonna break down each part of this thing and just kind of give you what we like, what we didn't like, and at the end we're gonna give a nice score there at the end.
Absolutely. And we'll do. Thanks, guys. Have fun. Oh, we are definitely going to have fun. And look at who's in the house. One of my idols on the YouTube world, Toronto Freddy, humongous Halloween fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm kidding. He is a humongous Nightmare on Elm Street fan, and he is awesome. He does a great impersonation of Freddy Krueger himself, and he says, I absolutely love this film. Oh, we're going to discuss how much we love this film, especially me, because I loved this movie.
Heck yeah, you did. But to be fair, Brett also liked the 2017 version a lot when it came out. I remember he'd rake that.
We do not talk about that shit. I was young and stupid.
I was just
kidding. That was before I started drinking, too.
He ranked it as the #1 movie of 2017, actually.
Bullshit. That I did not do. Stop putting words in my mouth. See, you're doing chat here. You're listening to chat too much. You're stirring the pot.
So what's up, Chad? Thanks for jumping in.
I know he's supporting his 2 buddies of Chris and Destiny right now over on there. They're watching Prom Night, which good, very. I like the remake of that. So,
well, let's just kind of start wading our way into this thing. So before we get started with this new one, what were your thoughts of the 2017 film, just in a nutshell? And did you think that this was going to, when this was announced, did you think this was going to be a substantially different film when it was released?
The first thing that comes into mind is dog shit from horse's ass.
Totally. Yeah, I agree with that.
Easily. It was super disappointing, which, like, you're telling me that, like, Batman, like, the Superman standalone movie is longer than Justice League. You know there's a problem there. And plus, it was just shot weird. Like, all the characters were CGI. Why?
We had CGI freaking faces. Superman's mustache got covered up via CGI, man. What the hell was that about?
I know, like it's stupid. Like I'll just get frustrated and flustered if I keep talking about it. But no, just know it's really bad and no longer exists. But when I heard about this Snyder cut, I was hopeful about, like, okay, it can't be any worse. And then when we saw that first trailer of it, I'm like, oh, this could be the answer to our prayers. But still, just being hopeful, not getting overly excited. And then when it came on Thursday, oh my God, it lived up to the expectations. And even more, too. Like, this, to me, has busted down the door for all the movies. Like, a Suicide Squad, I know, has, like, a certain, like, director's cut and all that. So I'm telling you, it's going to bust down the door to release, like, movies we've never seen before that have already come out.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Obviously, I think Justice League was the 2017 version here was a complete and utter disaster. It was dog shit from a horse's ass, not even close to being a real movie. It was really just a pain to watch to get through. I didn't see it in theaters, thankfully. I'm glad I didn't spend any money on it, but I saw it after it came out on HBO or something, and I just remember thinking, "Wow, this is the Justice League movie. What the hell is this? This is absolute dog shit. This isn't what we signed up for here. Completely different change in tone from Batman v Superman. Like, it wasn't even the same linear. Like, there wasn't anything similar about it to Batman v Superman. You had all these one-liners that Batman was throwing out, Superman was throwing out after he was resurrected. Like, it was just dumb, and it was incredibly frustrating. And after seeing this, all the footage that they shot, and thinking back to that, I'm like, it's even worse. Like, how the hell you ended up with that when you had all this footage already shot? Like, I just don't get it. It's an absolute disaster.
What was the stupid thing Superman said at that final act of the 2017 one, going like, well, I'm a fan, but I'm also a believer of justice, or just something so cheesy. I'm like, this is from a Marvel movie. If I want to watch a Marvel movie, I'll just go watch Marvel.
I believe in the truth, but I'm also a fan of justice.
Yeah,
and then he said, and then he meets Batman, and then he meets Batman, and Batman's like, he's like, oh yeah, we got to separate the box, yada yada. He's like, okay, well, I knew you didn't bring me back just because you didn't like me, or just because you like me. And he says,
yeah,
I don't not like you. Like, what the hell is that, dude? That's not freaking Batman from Batman v Superman. That's nothing.
No.
That was absolute dog shit. And I tell you, and also the whole thing with Flash pushing the car out of the way and then Superman carrying it. Like, what the hell was all that?
Yeah,
That was
Flash is pushing people versus just like, punching people like
and then
stupid.
when Superman's kicking ass, like he freaking chucks Batman and he's like, "Oh yeah, do you bleed?" And then Batman's like, "Oh yeah, something's bleeding. Something. What the like? You don't need this is supposed to be intense ass shit." Batman, Superman, duking it out again. Superman just got resurrected, and here he is cracking one-liners. What the hell is that? Doesn't fit at all what's going on. It's incredibly frustrating. So I'm glad. But anyway, this all brings me back to the point. If you saw our trailer reaction for this when it came out a few weeks ago, I wasn't very optimistic about it because of how bad that original movie was. I didn't think a few recuts. I mean, I didn't, I didn't understand how intense these, how much footage they actually had. But I didn't understand, I didn't think a few reshoots were going to make a difference, but yeah, boy, was I wrong. I'm pleasantly surprised with what we got. I'm excited to talk about it. So I'm ready whenever you want to jump into it.
Let me get to a couple of these comments real quick. Toronto Freddy hates the Justice League. Yeah, I'm telling you, rough. Mikey says it's getting great reviews, so congrats to the fans. Yeah, this couldn't obviously happen without the fans pushing for it. Like once they got knowledge that there was a Snyder cut, like the fans pushed hard. Because to me, I feel like the DC fans are extreme. Like I would probably say they're more loyal than Marvel fans, even though Marvel fans are really loyal too. But just something about those DC fans just really strikes like my interest in them. So yeah, great job, fans, for making this like to help bring this movie into light.
Absolutely.
If any of Toronto fans said dog shit, he's laughing at the dog shit from the horse's ass. Yeah. We never feel great about giving that particular score out, but when we do, trust us, it deserves it.
100%. All right, let's get into this thing, man. Let's just start. Like again, we're gonna break it down, act at a time. Once Chris comes in, we'll let him kind of get caught up to speed. Yeah, we don't want to keep dragging here. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start with this thing, man. So obviously this thing starts out completely different opening than the original one, the 2017. Obviously, that one started out with some fake ass CGI ass Batman duking it out with some fake ass CGI ass little wing guys, and it was an awful opening. It was terrible. From the opening shots of this one, I could tell the tone was drastically different with the way that it goes back to Batman v Superman, where he dies, right? And it shows this whole thing where obviously his death is being felt across the universe, essentially.
Yeah, like a very great recap.
Very great recap. It starts with a dark tone. The music's already different here. It's branching out, and we can feel like we're about to get sucked into this thing. And it puts you in a state of kind of a sense of dread, if you will. Like, shit, man, we just lost our best superhero of all time. What's going to happen now? So it's a fantastic.
Because he was a symbol of hope. And
exactly.
Now that hope is gone. Now the Earth is it's weak, and that's when like Steppenwolf and all those people are like, okay, this is our time to attack.
Exactly, yeah, and it was a fantastic opening. Just because, do you remember the way that dog shit movie opened? I'm sorry to keep bringing this up, but it's just fun to compare it. Like with that stupid ass little video, the phone video of Superman. He's like, "Oh yeah, let's party," or whatever he said. Like, what the hell was that?
So cringeworthy to watch.
No, this is a sequel to Batman v Superman. The last thing we saw happen in this storyline is Superman dying. So, like, this is you don't jump straight into some weird ass freaking Superman scene where he's ready to party. No, you got to feel the effects from the last movie. So that's what we got here, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's the continuity, man. Like just from one movie to the other to continue that like tone and that mood and the atmosphere, and it really did a great job with that.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome, man. And you see it branches out for everybody. Everybody's feeling it. The boxers are waking it up. And I believe also in this act is where Steppenwolf comes in and, to not Atlantis, but the
Amazons.
Yes. Yeah. The Amazon. He gets his big introduction here, right?
And he looks fantastic.
1,000. Yeah. 1,000 times better. I mean, he's still the CGI, ish there, obviously, but he looks way better than he did in that dog shit cartoon that we got from 2017, man. Like he's jacked, his voice is different even, and he looks good overall. Like I don't have complaints about it.
Yeah, then we got the actual like the opening, like after all the credits and all that, directed by Zack Snyder. We got the Batman and Aquaman scene, and immediately the first thing I noticed is just again, just the lighting is different because like in that piece of shit movie, I'm just gonna call it piece of shit movie, so
That's what we're
you
gonna
know what
call
I'm
it. Yeah.
referencing to. The piece of shit movie was all bright, colorful, and just all that. I'm like, I don't want that. And immediately that's the first thing I noticed, that it was just a darker tone and everything was just dark. And that was just awesome. And I felt it too.
Yeah, dude, it was, and you're right. It's a darker feel. The lighting is a big part of that, and just for the like, okay, when Steppenwolf, the boxers are waking up, the Amazons are all they're ready, man. They're all sitting there, they're ready to freaking tear it up, man. And the box, wakes up and Steppenwolf comes out. Like he's set up from the beginning of this to be badass, mother effer. It's a brutal sequence. Like it's completely different. It's totally rated R. Like he's slashing freaking Amazons around. There's blood flying around. Heads are flying all over the place. Like it's crazy, man. And it's totally something that you don't see a lot of in these comic book movies. Like how gory it is, and like it's freaking it's brutal, man. And he's set up. Excuse me. He's set up to be intimidating for once. Like he wasn't in the dog shit movie.
Yeah. And what I loved about, like, I'm going back to the Batman Aqua thing or Aquaman, like their exchanges real quick. Yeah, in the piece of shit movie, they throw in the joke. So I heard you talk to fish, and then the Snyder cut, they took it out, and right then I knew, okay, they ain't screwing around with this movie. They took out all the forced humor that freaking Josh Whedon put into this movie, and that's again matches the tone and atmosphere, and it was awesome. So and they changed Aquaman's eyes to like the blue, kind of like the light blue. I'm guessing that's just so he can see underwater too. So I love that like little detailed into it.
Yeah, that was really cool. And I like so at this point it's complete. Okay, so already the story's completely different at this point, right? Because in the piece of shit movie, Bruce dukes it out with the flying guys, and he knows that the threat's already here, and he's trying to assemble a team at this point. In this version, the threat's not there yet when he goes to meet Aquaman. He doesn't know exactly what's going on. Wonder Woman is the one that figures this out first, right? So he's just going out there to get a little bit of a team together, just for future reference or whatever. It's not quite clicking yet. It's these things are fleshed out a little bit more, and then we see Steppenwolf come in obviously later in the act and start tearing shit up. And yeah, it's a cool. I mean, it's different entirely.
Yeah, and speaking of freaking Wonder Woman, what a way to introduce her into this movie too.
Oh my gosh!
Because her scene was even better than the original, like in the piece of shit movie.
Oh my gosh!
It was unfreaking believable. Like, and especially after like she saves everybody, like she's actually checking on the girls and like. Or like the little students and all that, and having like one good interaction with one of them. It was awesome. Like Wonder Woman, they just did a way better job fixing her in this movie.
Totally, man. That scene was completely different. It comes in, these terrorists come in, they start freaking guns blazing, they start mowing people down. Like it's crazy. It's dark shit, right? And they get these kids as hostages, and it's not taken for joke. Like these kids are the hostage of the terrorists, right? Armed terrorists at that, and Wonder Woman comes in and freaking it takes care of business, man. Blows him away, blows that dude up, and it's like it's not at no point are there any jokes being thrown in. You have kids being taken as hostages in the situation, right? So it's intense, man. It's super intense, and it's complete. Again, it's already just a huge shift in tone from what we got in the shitty ass movie,
right? And I'm reading to some of the comments real quick. Toronto Freddy has watched this 4 times so far. So you have spent 16 hours with this movie. That is awesome. But,
yeah,
I haven't gotten a chance to see it the second time, but I do plan on sometime this week watching it for the second time. And then Mikey has only seen Batman v Superman once, but he liked it. And I know many didn't, but I thought it was decent. I thought the Batman Superman movie was really good, especially the extended cut, where it's just actually just fit in the missing pieces from the theatrical cut.
Yeah, I like the extended version of that, but I still, and this movie kind of follows the same has some of the same issues. Yeah, it's just a mess when you look at the storyline. Like it's just going so many different directions because they rushed it and tried to make it one long ass movie as opposed to setting it up in a couple movies, which I think could have really benefited it. And I think, and we'll get into it later. I think Justice League still kind of obviously it's 4 hours. It's got a lot of story to put in here, so we'll get into that later. But it seems like if they were to follow this path that they started with this movie. They would have really cleaned some things up and made some really interesting stuff, which we'll get into here in a little bit towards the end of this. But yeah, man, I think it started off fantastic. I thought I was blown away. I could tell how different it was going to be just in the first 45 minutes. And yeah, it was absolutely awesome.
Do you have any other notes for part 1?
No, just no,
because it was pretty much like I treat it as like an introduction, like to like what happened after the effects of Batman versus Superman.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Just simple storytelling of what the 3 characters are going through, and we get our introduction to Steppenwolf, who just made an immediate impact in the movie. So I thought part 1 was very successful.
Yeah, totally. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great setup. And a great entryway into the rest of the movie, and just getting the groundwork laying down for you. But yeah, we can move on to the second act here. There wasn't a whole lot that to talk about, I guess, in this act. I guess I mean it was more of a setup act. Like it was just kind of a lot of shit hit the fan kind of in the first act. Steppenwolf coming in and all this, and then the second act was kind of a chance to breathe a little bit and get to know some of the characters and the story, the overall reason why Steppenwolf is there, and things like that. So it starts off. With Diana doing a little bit of research and misprints, obviously, and just from the get-go, it was cool to see her more involved in this story. I think she's probably my favorite of these characters here, and just to see her more involved in this story after, especially after seeing Wonder Woman 84, it was cool to see her kind of get a little bit of a redemption, and I thought it was cool.
Yeah, and then explain like the like her mother going like we need to send like the war's here, we need to send out a symbol, like a signal, and they're like, well, who will know about the signal? She will. And then they shot that arrow at that temple, and from the piece of shit cut, I've always wondered like what happened at that temple. They explained it in this freaking Snyder's cut. Her looking at the arrow and then going inside the damn temple. And it explains everything, and which is awesome and so helpful. And so I was a real fan of that scene.
Yeah, it was really cool. There's a lot of good character moments in this. Just kind of build. It bounces around a lot between some of the heroes and whatnot. Just kind of, getting a minute to just learn who these guys are and everything. Like I think that there's some Aquaman movements. He's talking to Willem Dafoe down under and stuff like that. I think was in this act, and just a lot of little things like that, just kind of building up the heroes and stuff. And obviously we get that kind of a flashback sequence from Wonder Woman talking about the initial battle with the Amazons and the Aquaman, the Atlanteans, if you will.
Yeah, and, even the Green Lanterns.
Yeah, the Green Lanterns were there, dude. He got his hand chopped off, but he was there.
Yeah. Oh man. Talk about give me a free hand. No, that was a bad joke. But no, I thought that whole battle scene was awesome. Even freaking Zeus was battling in that fight, fighting Doomsday, which in the piece of shit cut, it was Steppenwolf, but in this Snyder cut, it was actually Doomsday that was fighting the Amazons, the Green Lanterns, the Atlanteans, and men, just like your regular mortals, and it's just all of that was fantastic. Just like giving us a reason why Doomsday really wants to conquer this planet. Like this is the one planet that he failed to conquer, and he's been like in search of this. I forgot what they call it in particular. What is it? The last, like the forgotten planet, or
the life. Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's the tip of my tongue. If somebody in the chat knows it, that'd be awesome.
I figured you'd know all the specifics. I didn't write this down.
I know. I need to watch it multiple times before it's just really suck into my brain. But
either way, they're looking for the planet.
Yeah, the battle was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. There's a lot of CGI in this particular battle, but it was also kind of a flashback. I think that was kind of done by design. It's kind of like in Wonder Woman when they're doing the kind of the flashbacks to Zeus and all that and whatnot. It's kind of the same kind of tone as that. Yeah, that battle was pretty dope, and it was pretty. Once you get past the CGI, it was pretty brutal too. There was a lot of blood and stuff in there, and
Yeah,
people getting chopped up, like the Green Lantern guy's hands getting chopped off, and yeah, that was pretty cool moment. And
Yeah,
again, it
which
just sets up.
yeah, the problem with that, like, problem thing with that battle is like the Green Lanterns like being like mentioned because I was really wanting the actual Green Lantern to be a part of the Justice League in this movie, which I understand why they couldn't because like it was too late to include him, but it would have been great if they could have found a way.
It would have been cool, man. It would have been cool. Um, Toronto Freddy comes in
Yeah,
with the.
I apologize. It's Dark Side, not Doomsday. See, I'm already
Yeah.
thinking.
Come on, Bert.
I
So
know I'm fucking up.
just so you guys know, I'm not the name guy at all. Bert usually does all that. He's the one that knows all this stuff about the comic book movies.
Yeah, I'm more Marvel than DC, but I know some DC. But yeah, I screwed that up. My apologies. It's Dark Side. Dark Side's the main dude, not Doomsday. He got killed in Batman versus Superman. And but yeah, even Darkseid looked badass in this movie. Like he looked intimidating as hell and somebody you absolutely did not want to mess with.
Yeah, and I was just giving you a hard time, Bert. I should have wrote it down. That's my fault too.
No, you're good, man. And yes, and Toronto Freddy brings up a great point. The whole point of all of this battle and war and all that is for the anti-life equation.
You got that right. Yeah, so it was cool. It was a good setup, and it just set up the way the boxes were split up between the Atlanteans, the Amazons, and the men, and just kind of sets up what that is all about, and really just gives you that purpose for what Steppenwolf is trying to do here. So that's pretty much it. It was more of a setup act. The third act,
and Steppenwolf, like the reason he was looking for the boxes and conquering worlds too is because he's trying to gain forgiveness from Darkseid. Because like he was doing all this so he can like be appreciated and be like recognized again. So that's why Steppenwolf was like really invested into getting these mother boxes.
Yeah, totally. It was very cool. Good setup. But yeah, again, that was just a setup kind of act. We'll move on to Act 3. This is where we kind of learn. We get introductions to Barry Allen and Victor Stone here, the Flash and Cyborg. Yeah, and I thought their introductions were done much better here. I don't remember exactly how they were introduced in the piece of shit cut, but I remember that this
randomly.
Was cool. Yeah, I know there wasn't much to it. There wasn't a lot of character moment, but I thought the intro to Flash was fantastic. The actor there, he really shines in the performance, and he's just the whole way that whole thing works out with the pet shop and the car wreck, and he runs out there and he saves his girl and all that. That obviously they're going to later.
And which I believe that was Iris that he saved from. I think she was in Birds of Prey.
Yeah,
from what I understood,
they're supposed to be more involved there in the future, I think, and it's going to be a good time. But it was a great introduction. His character, he comes in at a time after a pretty dark opening and provides some nice comedic relief for us, and it's effective. His jokes land pretty well in this cut. They're not over the top and they're not weird like they were in this piece of shit cut. So that was cool.
Yeah, even though this is where I'll go with my first negative. I wasn't too big on the whole Flash thing. I felt like that was just way longer than it needed to be.
Well, I didn't have a problem with it just because, this is our first time seeing Flash. So it was nice to see him get a little bit more fleshed out. And I actually quite liked it. That whole sequence, I was into it. I thought he was doing a really good job, but I understand that. Of course, we also
they could have sped it up. No pun intended. But they could have at least sped it up. Like I understood why he was there, just like as you said, to flesh out the character, first introduction to him, and how they were going to present his super speed in this movie, which I was an absolute fan of how they introduced his speed into this movie, and he was treated a lot more seriously. Like Flash was like one of the biggest positives for me about this Snyder cut.
Yeah, and he was for me too, because again, the first part of this movie, the first two acts, they were pretty bleak, and just to have a moment here, just to lighten the mood up a little bit, and see this young, new superhero kind of just, be himself and really just take us back a few notches on the intensity scale. It was a nice little break it for me in the movie. And just to see him get his hot dogs to get his nutrients in was good. He,
because he's burning all those calories, man.
Exactly. He was great. We also got, there's also a sequence in between this and our introduction to Cyborg, but when Steppenwolf goes down to meet with the Atlanteans, if you will, he smashes one of their freaking heads. Actually, this happened on the shore. He smashes one of their heads on a dang rock, dude. He freaking just chucks him over. His head just freaking explodes pretty much on the rock. That was crazy. Another great freaking Zack Snyder
inclusion.
Vision here. Yeah.
Yeah, and that little like crab looking thing that like goes inside like the brains of the it's just like the people to get information, and I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah, I agree. That was really neat. But yeah, that's just building up Steppenwolf to be brutal once again here with the way he just freaking destroys this dude. I thought that was pretty cool.
Then we got as you said, the introduction to Cyborg, and we actually got a very deep character development with Cyborg in this one. And
it was cool. It was cool. I liked it. The way it started off with him playing football, though, for the Gotham City Knights or whatever they were called, and I don't know if you caught this, but it was Gotham up on the scoreboard. It was Gotham City versus Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
I was like, what kind of high school is playing Wisconsin? Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I know. Like, I thought that was crazy. Like, at least they could have like done Metropolis or something.
Yeah, or anything. Like Wisconsin was just so random.
Yeah, but yeah, all that was cool. Like just like do that, and he was also, I believe, helping a girl not fail a class. Like just kind of show like he cares. Like he's tough on the outside, but he's kind-hearted on the inside. Daddy issues was the big thing that we had to take away from the character development, and and also introduce his mother into this as well, which I thought that was a really nice like little effect that he has someone to console with about like the problems he has with his dad. And then of course we got the car wreck, which I loved the car wreck angle better than just the explosion that the piece of shit movie explained.
I don't even remember what happened in the piece of. There was no character development for Cyborg in the original. I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't even remember what happened.
Their excuse. He blew up. They used the mother box. He came back to life. I'm like, that's lazy. But this one, it was way more detailed.
Yeah, that's silly. That's stupid. I liked it, and then just to see Cyborg once he's kind of brought back, just to kind of see some of the new abilities he was kind of given here. I don't even think his little technology abilities were they even in the last cut, or
well, they didn't explain it. They just kind of like you know who Cyborg is. You're supposed to know what his power is. I'm like, well, that's bullshit. What if somebody's watching this movie for the very first time and they don't know nothing?
Exactly. The joke was on them. I didn't have a damn clue who Cyborg was.
Yes. Well, I know who Cyborg was because I was a fan of Teen Titans, so I know who Cyborg was. But yeah, they pretty much explained his power to being like he can freaking gain access to any kind of technology he wants, whether it be like human technology or even alien technology, which he did exploit both in this movie, which again, great job, Snyder Cut. And then like he can change like the bank account, which I kind of wish he did that to my bank account recently. And put it over at $200,000 to help out that girl because she got evicted from her home. So that was a nice character moment.
That was a cool moment, and I liked it, but it was kind of weird. It didn't seem like it fit with the rest of what was going on with this character because, like, you had all that going on, and it was nice and somber, and it was like, oh, this guy's cool. And then it cuts to him just being a dick in the next scene.
Well, because he again, daddy issues. That was
but like even when Diana shows up and tries to recruit him or whatever, he's like, yeah, dude, fuck the world. That's what he says. He says, fuck the world.
Yeah,
and
which I was like, oh shit.
Which is cool, but like he just literally didn't fuck the world in the last scene. You know what I mean? Like he was trying to do good, and it just didn't really fit exactly what the other scenes were doing. It was a good sequence. I could see him being mad at his dad and still caring for life in general, but it was kind of like it was kind of wishy-washy. Like he cared for life, and then he's like, "Oh no, I'm mad. Fuck the world," and I don't know. It's just kind of weird, but. Overall, I really enjoyed him being a bigger part of this, and I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, and the big change from the scene between Cyborg and Wonder Woman meeting each other for the first time was in the piece of shit cut. He was wearing like all the sweater stuff, and then like in the Snyder cut, he's not wearing anything. He's wearing his his normal getup, so like he's not hiding from who he is. So
Yeah, that's cool. And of course, that's Ray Fisher, the guy playing Cyborg. I thought he knocked it out of the damn park, man. He really did.
yeah, he did, and I think we have our guest at this time that just came in.
Hell yeah, we do. Bring him on in.
All right, let's bring him in.
Gentlemen,
Chris, you are officially live. What's up, man?
Oh, drinking some beers, hanging out, man.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So, from what I
Cheers.
understood, you haven't watched all of the Snyder Cut yet, correct?
Yeah, that's 100%. I've got through the first 2 parts with a heavy buzz.
Mm-hmm.
So it's yeah, I'm lost. I'm just here to drink, man, really. throw in a couple of zingers, buddy.
There you go.
We just finished talking about we're breaking it down act at a time, and we just finished talking about the first 2 acts. Was there anything about those that kind of stood out to you, comparing it to the piece of shit cut? That's what we're referring to, the old one from
Really?
2017, or what were your thoughts of the first couple little parts there?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was completely different. I thought it was going to be it wasn't going to be like a completely reimagined thing. I thought it was just going to be like like the director's cut or whatever. They add like four extra minutes of shit in there, and you're like, well, what the fuck was even different? But so I was pretty surprised that it was as different, as it was. But I like the tone and everything right out of the gate. I was like, wow, this is quite a bit darker than the other one. So, and yeah, I'm just gonna go with that, man. I'm out of my depth here.
All right. Well,
You're out of your element.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, that's pretty much what we were saying in the first about the first 2 parts in general and whatnot. But yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, getting back, I guess, to the cyborg stuff here, Bert. Yeah, was there anything else you wanted to mention about that?
No, pretty much. Just they explained his powers a lot more detailed this time and gave him a good backstory for us to care about him and care about Flash. So I thought part 3 was very successful in doing that.
Yeah, there was another Atlantis battle here in this sequence here, which was good. This was the underwater version here later on in the act, and I thought it was fantastic. The way it was done, it was brutal once again. Aquaman kind of got his ass beat a little bit. I mean, it was he put up a pretty good fight, but like, he showed up and he held his own there for a minute, and obviously he got duked there a second later. So that was a cool sequence. It was brutal as hell. Again, building up Steppenwolf, it was fantastic. The way he just kept getting built up throughout. I thought that was cool. And then another note I have here for this act is that the parademons, the little flying things, were actually built up pretty well in comparison to the piece of shit cut where they were just, CGI flying around. These guys here were actually they were built up to be pretty strong, like the way they kidnapped everybody and everything at the end of this act, setting up for the next act. They had some moments where they were actually kind of terrifying and made out to be a little bit more powerful than they were in the old one.
Oh yeah, and I love the whole underwater fights and all that. Like when Aquaman and I forgot the girl's name, but
Mira.
Yeah, Mira. All that was great, and of course it just showed how badass Steppenwolf is again. Kicked everybody's ass without no effort. And yeah, another good scene. Steppenwolf got the second mother box, and then we go into the next part where it's all about the last mother box and how to get it.
How familiar is this storyline where you got the bad guy going around collecting boxes and shit, though, one at a time?
It sounds familiar.
I thought that was kind of crazy. Also, I was like, man, they could have went at least a little bit different direction than Marvel.
Now, to be fair, this was made in 2017, which was the same year that Infinity War came out. So it was really
Infinity War came out in 2018.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy, get your shit together.
Endgame came out in 2019.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I guess technically this came out before Infinity War then. So maybe Infinity War was ripping this off. Who knows? But either way, the storyline's similar, and yeah, at this point, and after those have come out, watching this again is like, yeah, I feel like we've seen this already. But whatever. It's a little side note there. So we'll move on to part 4. This is where
spoiler free, guys, please.
But this last time I checked, this is the spoiler episode.
I'm fucking with you, dude. I know it's my fault.
No, you're good, man. Brad, what happened in part 4? What was
so part 4 at the end of 3? That's when Mr. Stone, Daddy Stone, gets captured by the parademons and taken to Stryker Island. And pretty much everybody gets captured and taken over there by the parademons. And so this one kind of starts off with the Justice League, at least 5 of them, 4 of them, I guess, at the time, getting together. They meet up with, at the very beginning of this, they meet up with Commissioner Gordon up on the roof.
Yeah, that's like where they did all the recruiting and all that. Like they got Flash and they were trying to get Victor Stone and all that.
Yeah, yeah. So the recruiting actually happened in 3, and then 4 at the very beginning, they're all meeting with Commissioner Gordon. Batman goes up there with I think with Wonder Woman.
Woman and Flash. And then Cyborg shows up.
He shows up, which, by the way, J.K. Simmons coming in here, perfect casting choice for freaking Commissioner Gordon. I really enjoyed that. I mean, obviously, Gary Oldman was pretty fantastic too, but they nailed it with this one as well. So it was cool. It was a good way to kind of start the thing. So those 4 guys, they go over to Stryker Island to kick some ass, and this is where the freaking badass tunes start dropping when they start rolling up, and it's playing some rock music. It's pretty intense. I love that.
Yeah, and just like the whole sequence, like them like going after Mr. Stone and Steppenwolf, like all that, like that whole sequence was better, just especially from Flash. Because like they made like from the piece of shit movie, which Chris, we're calling the 2017 movie piece of shit. We're not actually going to call it Justice League. So
I think they're going to do that. Warner Brothers said they were going to do that anyway. So if you see it on the shelves at Walmart, it's literally just going to say the piece of shit league.
The piece of shit league. I think that's very justice of them to do. Just like the whole, like the way they treated Flash, because in the piece of shit movie, they say Flash is like, well, I haven't actually thrown a punch. I just push people, making him like look really weak and doesn't belong with the Justice League, the best of the best. But in this freaking Snyder cut, Flash looked like he belonged with the best of the best. And he actually was way more useful in this and like helping people and actually fighting the demons too.
Yeah, it was cool. Toronto Freddy says Justice League, came out just after Wonder Woman did. So it was back, obviously, in 2017.
Yes, because I think Wonder Woman was 2016, I believe.
I thought it was 17, too.
I think it could be early 17, but Justice. Yeah, that's right.
So it was around that same time. But yeah, so I love that. They show up. The tunes that are playing is badass. Like, you kind of get pumped at this point because you've had some chance. You had a chance to breathe. You had a chance to get all these characters kind of developed a little bit and whatnot. And when you see them all together, 4 of them, 4 out of 6 together, you get pretty jacked. Like, and it plays this badass music. They go into Stryker Island. They're sneaking in there. And then obviously Cyborg jumps the gun a little bit once he sees his dad start to get tortured from Steppenwolf, which is cool. It's a cool moment. He's got his daddy issues, but then he comes back in and he's like, we're gonna put that behind us and we're gonna kick some ass here. But that leads up to Wonder Woman and Steppenwolf Duke session, man. And it plays the Wonder Woman theme, and it was freaking badass as hell.
Love the Wonder Woman theme.
Yeah, I do too. It was fantastic. And it was a good fight. It was a good Duke sesh.
Hell yeah, dude, I loved it.
Yeah, especially Steppenwolf trying to like get under her skin, like, Amazon, why did you leave your sisters behind when I was slaughtering them? Or just something like along those lines. And then Wonder Woman's like, oh no, you didn't. And then they had that epic battle, and it was awesome.
They had a nice Duke session there, and again, you see good moments from Flash and Cyborg here kicking a little bit of ass, and then Batman's out there kicking some ass too. He gets his little crawler thing, which I don't know, Brett, you could probably answer this. I think this scene was a little bit extended from the piece of shit version, but I think they left most of this in the original, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did, from my recollection. Even though after watching this awesome Snyder cut, I completely forgot about that piece of shit movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe they kept for the crawling thing, like the crab looking thing, for the most part.
Did you go back and watch the piece of shit cut, Brad, recently?
I didn't.
I
did.
Oh, okay. I wanted to go back and I was gonna watch it first, and then just kept
just to see all the differences and all that.
Right,
Trust me, I'm pretty sure from what I understood, it was 90% all new footage.
I couldn't bring myself to watch that dog shit from a horse's ass again. So what I did is after watching this, I went on YouTube and watched a video that kind of showed some of the differences. Yeah, that was much better on my part. But yeah, it was cool. And then obviously, okay, so they duke it out. They kick a little bit of ass of Steppenwolf down there at the bottom, and then he ends up getting the upper hand and obviously shooting the rocket, diverting the rocket to the side of the wall. Water starts pouring in, and then Aquaman joins the gang. So at this point, we have 5 out of the 6. Cool moment for Aquaman. I thought that was pretty dope. The way he was able to kind of jump. I don't know where he came from. I don't know what his plan was. I don't know if he was just waiting on his opportunity to come in there once the gate was opened up, or if he was just kind of out there just chilling. But either way, I'm glad he showed up when he did. It was cool. And yeah, we get the gang together.
Yeah, and then freaking Cyborg leaves them, and they fought, and just everybody was like, "What, did Cyborg just like abandon us? Like, what the hell's going on here?" And then that's when they escape, and then that's when Cyborg comes back going, he ain't going to find the mother box because I have the mother box, and that's where he has it. And that's when they do the whole big meeting on about what they should do with the mother box.
Yeah, totally, man. That was cool. And that's when you get the 5 of them together talking about, oh, we know what we have to do now. We got to get Superman back. He's our only chance, essentially. And they're like, and that's how this one ends, is they pop up Superman and they're like, yeah, we know what we got to do. Let's go resurrect this asshole. And,
yeah, well, and that's a big difference. Like, because in the piece of shit movie, they were trying to bring him back just because he's like a symbol of hope and all that. But in the Snyder cut, from what I understood, is the reason they brought Superman back for the extended cut was just because he was the only one that can actually beat Steppenwolf.
Yeah, exactly. And he is basically they're talking about later how the boxes are afraid of Superman. Or how Steppenwolf, is afraid of Superman. The Nightcrawler, Toronto Freddy. Sorry, the Nightcrawler. I'm glad Toronto Freddy's here. He knows all the facts. He's helping us out big time.
Again, he watched this movie. They watched the Snyder cut 4 times already. So
yeah,
damn.
So you won't get. We don't know. I just I don't know all the technical terms and whatnot, but I just like to sit down and have a good time watching this Nightcrawler tear shit up. And I thought that was pretty cool. It would have been cool to see Bruce in it a little bit more, but. He got knocked out and Cyborg took over, which was also cool. But either way,
now do we still get treated to the nude rage that happened in the original one, right? Am I thinking of that, or was that Dawn Superman versus Batman? Was it a scene where like Superman? No, it was Justice League. They once they resurrect him, he like comes back and he's like naked, like blowing shit up.
We have not gotten to that part yet, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
they made some alterations in that scene.
Much better, much needed.
Much better.
He fucking Cyclops like blowing shit up, with his eyes, with a raging mega huge boner the whole time, and everybody's just like, whoa.
It was so stupid the way they did that before.
I know.
It's a lot better how the Snyder cut treated it.
Yes.
And Brad, I'm not sure if you got this written down, but do you have it down where Martha and Lois Lane had their little discussion?
No, but that was cool. That was great. That was I really liked that, and that wasn't in the original, the piece of shit cut either.
Well, it was in some kind of way, but not very detailed. It was like more at the beginning. But this time it was more in the middle act. But the reason why it was so important is because it wasn't Martha.
Exactly. It was your boy, dude.
It was Martian Manhunter, our very first like look into the Martian Manhunter character, where he's like being all these different people. He went from like Martha to the Colonel General from the Man of Steel movie. Yeah, which I thought was fantastic.
That was cool. I quite like that. That was a good sequence. Again, And that's one thing I haven't mentioned in any of these notes really is the fact that Lois Lane has had a good opportunity of kind of getting fleshed out here too. From the beginning of the movie, you see her like she's not going to work anymore. She's depressed beyond belief. She's just going in. She's getting her coffees for a cop friend, and she's going to mourn at the side of the Superman statue. Like she's completely devastated in this one, which she didn't really get a lot of that in the OG. The 17 piece of shit cut. I mean, I think it showed elements of that, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't think it really fleshed it out that much. Not to this extent. You didn't really see this level of depression from her at any point.
Which again, it was good character development too, because he would obviously be depressed that Superman, the love of her life getting taken away from her.
And it was cool. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was a moment where she goes and like, I can't remember what she was actually grabbing. She pulls something out of a drawer, and there's like a little pregnancy test in there, like, and it kind of panned on that. And I don't know. I don't know exactly if they're expecting any little super babies at any point, but I thought that was a cool little just
it's just kind of like thrill thought.
Yeah, just kind of showing at what stage maybe the relationship was in, and I don't know. It was kind of cool. But yeah, so we'll move on to part 5 if you're ready, unless you got anything else.
Well, from what I'm figuring, like again, they were having that meeting like to determine whether, because they were doing the story about how the mother box spilled up, like brought life into Victor Stone, like created Cyborg and all that. That's how they had that old big. And that's the thing. In the piece of shit cut, it was only like Aquaman, Batman, and Wonder Woman who was part of the meeting. But they included everybody this time around, which that's how it kind of needed to be. That the Justice League, so they needed all to decide together, and the voting was 3-2.
Yeah, and that was cool. That is another good point, because in the piece of shit version, it's really just Bruce Wayne and Wonder Woman show, right? And then these other guys are just kind of there doing stuff in the background. But in this one, already at this point, 4 parts in, we've seen much more development out of Cyborg and Flash, and they're getting more important roles already. We'll get into how important they get down the road, but yeah, I just thought that was cool. It was fantastic. Toronto Freddy says he didn't like the scene with the Martian Manhunter, Lois Lane, and whatnot. He says he didn't think it was necessary as Martian Manhunter shows up at the end, which is also true.
And I got thoughts about that.
I like that at the end, but I also I don't mind this scene at all, because I think it's cool to see the Martian Manhunter going out there, just trying to keep things rolling. I guess he's trying to. I don't know. It's kind of neat, but you're right. It would have been kind of nice to save the surprise for the end, I guess. I mean, I didn't see it coming either way, but yeah, maybe it would have been served better at the end. Maybe that's a good point.
Yeah, and then the last bit, and then we'll move on to the next part where they when they're going to bring back Superman, is that Steppenwolf was trying to tell. I forgot the little minions like he talks to like on that stone, and he was trying to say, I need to speak to Darkseid. I found the planet.
Yeah.
The planet that Darkseid failed to capture, and then that's like, oh, this is big because Darkseid's been looking for this particular planet for like the longest time, and that's an important note too, just because like, okay, you definitely have to finish the Mother Box conquest so we can get Darkseid onto that planet. Yeah,
for sure. That was pretty cool. But yeah, we can jump into part 5 if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Chris, any thoughts onto like what we're talking about, or did we just completely lost you?
Yeah, dude, I'm lost, but keep it rolling.
No, I'm sorry, man, but we're about to get to the thing that you wanted to talk about with the whole Superman coming back thing. So that's what we're getting ready to talk about next.
Yep. It starts out here. So it's cool. It starts off with them creeping in there, just like Jason Lives, part 6, right? They walk up in there and they're ready to freaking to dig up Superman and resurrect his ass. And they walk in there. It's a nice moment between Cyborg and Flash when they're sitting there talking. They're just getting a little banter. It's nice to kind of build the relationship up a little bit as they're digging up Superman. And then they all
even Aquaman and Wonder Man had like a nice exchange too. Like they both say the same quote from their people, because this is the first time that Amazon and Atlantean actually got to interact with each other for like thousands of years. So I thought that was a cool like bonding experience between members.
Yeah, that was cool. I really agree. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That little dynamic between the two of them, kind of building that relationship up and whatnot, and kind of, yeah, just like you said,
Team
referring.
bonding, man.
Yeah, it's cool, and that's important for later, right?
Especially
so that was
Batman, like because Batman had a good scene too, where Alfred's trying to say, like, do you just like is this guilt like really getting to you by Superman? And then that's when he's like, he like just a symbol of hope and all that. And you told and like Alfred, like from even Batman v Superman, is always questioning Bruce about like you've lost hope and all that. Where's your hope at in this movie? Bruce is trying. It's like I believe again. Like this is the most I believe since in a very long time, and that's why he's so invested in the whole I bring back Superman and protecting everybody because Superman had that effect on Batman.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point, Brett. And then it kind of shows them the three of them or the group kind of they dig Superman up. And they take him into the lab together, which is kind of cool. And I don't remember seeing this.
Took him to the ship. Yeah, to the Kryptonian ship where Doomsday got created, like where Lex Luthor was.
Exactly. I thought that was a cool sequence of them kind of working together. And this is where Miles Dyson comes in, and from Terminator 2 here is a reference I'm making. But he comes in and he pulls he throws a little assist over to Cyborg here. Where they're pulling him in there, he's like, "Oh, it's a false alarm. No, it's real. Everybody get out of here." Whatever. That was kind of cool. A nice little bonding moment again between father and son. I like that.
Yeah, and that was not in the piece of shit cut either. They just literally walked in there. Nobody asked any questions. So I'm like, you can't just walk in there in a highly secure place.
Yeah, that was
not get caught.
So stupid.
Yeah, and they easily fixed that wrong in the movie. And again, like with the Mr. Stone, like just doing a solid for his son. Awesome stuff. Like, just awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. The relationship begins to improve a little bit. They bring him in. They wake up Superman pretty much the same way, I guess they did in the shit version, with the combination of Cyborg and Flash doing their thing. Right? Was that any different, or was that pretty much the same?
I want to say it was different this time because I think they were asking Flash to break his one rule about going light speed, like to reverse time and all that. And the cube was like more into the water. I caught that. What the hell?
When you called Wonder Woman Wonder Man a minute ago.
I was gonna say, damn, Wonder Man shows up.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Freddie got a kick out of that one.
Yeah, I'm not perfect, but anywho, this time like the cube was more into the water this time around, and the Flash almost didn't even make it because he was having communication issues with Cyborg, but because there was starting to be doubt towards the end, like Aquaman's like, yeah, I don't know, this is a bad idea.
Yeah,
and
that was
all
cool.
that.
But yeah, I mean, again, that scene was cool. Like it was a well-made scene again, and you know, it was cool. But then Superman wakes up and he dukes it out with the Justice League. And I thought in this version it was hella better than it was in the first one. Because remember what we said at the beginning of the show, Bert, when Superman wakes up the first time in the old movie, the shit movie, and he says he beats Batman's ass. He says, "Do you bleed?" or whatever. He's just throwing out one-liners and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, what is this? Like, why? He just woke up from being dead, and now he's throwing out one-liners with a fake ass CGI.
Well, how do you wake up dead? Like,
I saw. How the hell you gonna go to bed?
Yes, I'm not gonna get into that whole Scary Movie 3. So,
how do you turn up missing?
But if a rat go inside, it would become a mouse.
What if a mouse goes outside?
It would become a rat.
It becomes a rat.
I remember watching the Justice League in theaters, the shit cut, and I was like, when they wake Superman up, and I remember sitting there with my mouth open, and I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, this is really how they're gonna do this? I thought it was gonna be a dream. Like, I kept waiting. I was like, oh, this is like Lois having a nightmare or something. Like, it's gonna be something, you know, not real. I was like, I cannot believe that they decided to go this way.
It was so fucking stupid. You get him in there, and he's like, he kicks Batman. "Do you bleed?" And Batman's like, "Oh yeah, something's bleeding. All right." Like, what the like? Why is this going on? This is ridiculous. This is stupid. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, and it gets worse later in the movie, ladies and gentlemen. But in this cut, it's like it's serious tone, man. They're like, okay, we got to tone this guy down before he freaking unleashes havoc on the world. So they at this time at the beginning, Batman's not there. It's just the other four, and they're sitting there, and they put up a decent fight at times, but at the end of the day, they all get destroyed by Superman. Of course, like he's way more at this point. We see he's way more powerful than Steppenwolf, because even earlier they were able to hold their own pretty well against Steppenwolf, but they're getting destroyed by Superman here. And he's not even really trying.
Yeah, and this time around, like what is different is when Batman shows up and Superman like slowly flies over to Batman. The Aquaman was trying to attack from behind, and the Flash was trying to attack from the front, and Superman just barely got out of the way, and the Flash ran into Aquaman, and they had a collision. And I thought that was kind of funny, and I thought that was just kind of funny. And then what they did after that is Wonder Woman and Superman had their same exchange from the piece of shit cut, with the whole headbutt battle and all that. And then this time when Superman was fighting Batman, Batman had like this little device on his wrist where he can absorb Superman's X-ray vision, like the laser beams.
That was cool. That was cool.
Yeah, and plus that's just the most Batman thing to do. Like, how can I counteract Superman when he does this?
Yeah.
Yeah, first it's like, the whole "do you bleed?"
That was so fucking stupid. I can't get over that. Are you kidding me?
What's up, J-Man? J-Man's in the chat.
Old Jason Nikes here, man. What's up, buddy? How are you? Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, it was much better this time around, I thought. I really enjoyed that session. Actually, that was one of my favorite parts of this movie is this session between Superman and the Justice League, which makes me really want to freaking see what could have happened in a future rendition, which we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Oh, we're going to talk the hell out of that because that got me excited.
Now, was he naked?
He didn't have a shirt on.
He had long pants.
But he had pants. But he was much more serious this time. Like he wasn't cracking one-liners. Like he was kind of scary, and it felt a lot better this time around. Like his shirt was gone, it flew away in the wind. Like it's not very wind resistant to have a shirt on when you're flying, so he took it off. And
no doubt, makes perfect sense. Of course,
yeah, got to get those lips out.
I'm gonna stab you to death with my dick.
No, it wasn't anything like that.
But yeah, after the whole exchange on, like, God, Crit, what?
I'm sorry, Brett. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
You're crazy.
But no, and then, of course, what finally calms down Superman, Lois was actually seeing this from afar, and she got closer to the action. That's when she tells Superman just to stop and just to get out here, both of them to get out of there. They got out of there, not knowing Superman's going to join them or not. And then we get that little funny exchange between Aquaman and the Flash, or Aquaman's just staring at him like, and then the Flash goes, "I am so sorry." I thought that was funny. That wasn't that's what again I like about the Snyder Cut is it's not forced humor. It's just more naturally flow humor.
It all lands pretty well. It's not those stupid ass one-liners. Again, I'm coming back to damn Superman asking Batman if he bleeds. It's not that bullshit. Or what you see later in the movie when Superman he's like, "Oh, I knew you didn't bring me back just because you like me." He's like, "Well, I don't not like you." So fucking stupid. I can't stand even thinking about the decisions they made in that stupid dog shit movie. But yeah, this act here ends with Miles Dyson coming in and doing another self-destruct with detonator, just like he did in Terminator. So that was kind of cool. And he essentially what he does is he sacrifices himself. He destroys himself and marks the last box. So they know where to go find it. Essentially, that was a bit like the biggest difference between the Snyder Cut and the piece of shit cut. It was Victor Stone, the dad of Cyborg, giving himself up like that for the better cause. I thought that was excellent storytelling for Cyborg's character arc. I agree, man, and that's it. That's all the notes I have for the fifth act. So we can jump into the ending act, unless you have anything you want to say about that one.
No,
The
we pretty much covered the fifth act done pretty much. It's like Superman coming back. That was the big thing, and him flying off. And then Steppenwolf getting the third box, and now it's go time. Like everything's gonna all the parts 1 through 5 are all combining into one for an epic conclusion in part 6.
wasn't like one of the last lines. He's like, "Oh yeah, he got the box," and then Batman's like, not Batman. Batman's like,
Oh, we're throwing them around here tonight, buddy.
I know it's been a long day.
Okay.
Batman's like, "Oh yeah, we can go use my computers to go find his ass," and then they say, "Let's go kick his ass" or something. They said something like that. That was how the act ended. Like it got me kind of pumped up. They were like, they're ready to go kick some ass.
And then they went to the Batcave and all that. And then Aquaman's like, nice place. Like,
Nice, yeah. And then obviously Cyborg, he'll later get the bat flying mobile. Sorry, Toronto, I don't know my names, but
just like the Justice League jet or something.
Yeah, the Jet of Justice, let's call it that.
Yeah,
he's gonna get that thing running here in a little bit, and it's gonna be a good time. But we'll jump into the last act. The sixth act starts with Lois Lane. Lois Lane and Superman kind of having a nice little moment, and Superman's mom shows up, Miss Clark,
the real Martha.
Yeah, the real Martha. She shows up, and it's a nice little moment where you kind of see Superman is still kind of conscious, and he knows he's the same man essentially. Which I don't know what the freak out sesh was from earlier. I don't know, but now he's back to normal.
Well, you probably have a freak out sesh when you get brought back from the dead, like not knowing how you got summoned again, and you don't know what the hell's going on and all that. So I could see that a little bit.
From me though, I think the first thing I would do is go to Brewster's and get some ice cream, 2 scoops.
Buddy, I'm headed straight to the bar.
I would actually go see my family members, you assholes. But besides the point,
you say, what if they wake him up and instead of him being mad, he's just like, "Somebody get me a damn beer."
Oh my gosh, Coors Light. The part I liked about the Lois Lane and Superman or Clark or Kyle or however or whatever you want to call him is oh yeah, I do love that Captain American line.
That's what I was going for. That the way that ended the fifth act ended, it said, Cyborg says, "Let's go get this son of a bitch." That's right after his dad dies, though. So it was it was a really cool moment, and I was behind it, and he got me pumped up. I was like, "Yeah, let's go freaking tear him up."
Yeah, that was a perfect transition from part 5 to part 6. What's going on, Zack? How are you doing, buddy?
Zack's in the house, my friend. How are you? Thanks for jumping in.
Yes, sir. But yeah, the part I liked about the whole Lois and Superman I thought was cool is Superman just going, "So I'm taking you said yes," and she's like, "Excuse me, your ring," and all that because in the Batman vs Superman the extended cut they go into more detail about the ring, about how Clark proposed and all that, and just him remembering that actually, and that's like Lois's indication of okay, he's back. Like whatever happened before, he's back now. He knows who he is and all that. He knows what he needs to do.
Absolutely, and we got another Jason in the house here. Our boy from Sinister Cinema Reviews. This film is far superior to the Jaws cut. Mm-hmm. It's probably my favorite DCEU film. It's definitely the best director's cut change ever. It's night and day different, and that's what we've been harping on, man. It's completely different. We've been calling the old one the piece of shit cut, the shit cut, not the Jaws cut, the shit cut. Because that's what it is.
It's justified. It being called the piece of shit.
And now after watching this,
Jason probably doesn't know this, but we actually rated it. Our lowest, the low for our channel is dog shit from a horse's ass. That's what the Justice League 2017 movie is. Dog shit from a horse's ass.
100%. After seeing this new version, just seeing how they could have come up with such shit in that cut based on what they already had is ridiculous, and it's dumbfounding, and it's really frustrating, honestly.
Because they had a lot of this footage already, right? So it's like, how? I mean, you guys know, Snyder worked on the old one, but then left. It wasn't just Joss Whedon. Actually, I think we looked this up one time before. Doesn't Snyder gets the credit for it, right?
He does.
Snyder gets the full credit, and Joss Whedon only gets the screenplay credit, which we all know that's bullshit. Which shame on them for doing that. From Zack Snyder underneath the bus like that.
Yeah, because he left like a family emergency or something like that.
And, his daughter was it suicide?
Yeah.
And at the end of the Snyder cut too, Sinister Cinema just pointed it out. At the very end, after the whole movie was over, it said it's for autumn. Sinister. Like I agree with you. Little Anakin Skywalker tear for me. Like that was emotional because I had zero idea about it. I did research after it. And I'm like, damn, dude. I even love the movie more just because Zack Snyder did it for his daughter.
Totally.
Yeah, and all these years,
Warner Brothers for laying him loose.
He's been hot butter all these years.
That is such bullshit.
And it's probably hard for him to go back and work on this project after the way that ended.
Yeah, let Zack Snyder leave the project on his own terms. Don't let Warner Brothers force him out. Like that's
I was just saying, like it had to be hard for him to go back in and work on this project, just given the way he had to step away from the last one, because there's a connection in his mind that connects this movie kind of to that tragedy there that happened. So for him to kind of to begin to work on this again probably was kind of difficult for him, but I'm glad he did do it because this was fantastic. I mean, it was a great time. But yeah, I mean, we still got the best part of the freaking movie to talk about, guys.
Yeah, and guess who just joined just in time? Our boy Chris Snyder has joined in for the Part 6 talk and the Epilogue talk. So Chris Snyder, perfect time. And I hope you had a great stream with Destiny on Prom Night, the remake. And we're glad you're here.
Hell yes. So let's get into this thing, man.
Oh, sorry. And Toronto Freddy says Snyder has yet to watch Justice League. I doubt he ever will. Yeah, Zack will. I bet you Zack will never watch that piece of shit film.
I could not bring myself to watch that thing, man. I cannot tell you how pissed I am that thing even exists after seeing this movie. It's such an embarrassment.
Yeah, Sinister brought it up perfectly, Brad. Just as you said that, he said, "I was so mad at Warner Brothers the entire film. My brother and I were texting each other the entire film, so upset that they released the 2017 version." Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm getting pissed off just thinking about it.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous, man. But let's Destiny's in the house here.
What's up, Destiny? Because she loves Batman, so Batman gets gets treated like a badass in this Part 6.
Yes, he does. That was the Batfleck voice there, guys. Just in case you didn't know.
Keep going. Do the rest of the show that way.
Oh God.
So we'll get into the 6th. The 5th one ends essentially Batman kicking some ass. He runs away. This one starts with Lois Lane talking to to Superman. And then you get a little bit of a nice meeting with the other 5 Justice League members, and they get the Jet of Justice.
We call it the Jet of Justice. It's just I'm not sure what it's actually called. So Toronto Freddy, if you know what the Jet's called, please let us know. But yeah, they were just strategizing on how to fight Steppenwolf and how to win and all that. And it was a great meeting. It was a lot better than the piece of shit.
Yeah, and it was cool too because we already see here Cyborg is getting more involved with it's all going to come down to Cyborg at this point. He's decided he's going to risk his own life. He's going to essentially he's going to sacrifice himself for the world here to separate these boxes because he doesn't think he's going to make it out the other end, and he's okay with that. He's going to do that, and that's fine. And that kind of
he had an awesome line in the movie too. I'm going, I have nothing, so what do I have to lose?
Yeah, exactly. And it's an arc from earlier when he says "fuck the world" back in the 3rd act. It's an arc from that, which I enjoyed seeing. And again, it's just awesome to see him become a major character in this storyline and end up essentially being the main guy in this mission that they have to get to the box. You know what I mean? Whereas in the shit version, he was just a side, thing. And I know he was still kind of doing the same goal, but it wasn't fleshed out. But then they get the Jet of Justice up and running, right? And they go fly to this place. And then more badass freaking music play as they roll in. You remember that? The freaking tunes playing, they got this badass rock music playing. They're rolling in there, ready to rock. The score.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was just saying the score is absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fantastic. And then after that, we get the Superman development more, where he goes back to his Kryptonian ship, where we get a nice like voices from what's the actor's name from Man of Steel who played Superman's father?
Oh, that's Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner.
Yeah. No, yeah, Kevin Costner and Russell Crowe. Is that who I'm thinking of?
Russell Crowe.
He was in it. Oh, yeah, from the planet. Yeah.
I'm terrible with names, so that's how I know. Yeah, Kevin Costner and Russell Crowe, like both of the dads of Superman having awesome little cameos, like with the voiceover, trying to remind Superman who he is as he picked out the amazing looking black Superman outfit, which was awesome.
Which they didn't even have in the shit cut, dude. Are you kidding me? He shows up looking like a cartoon in the last battle, and he's like fucking. He's got the mustache. What the hell? You have this badass footage of Superman in this black freaking Superman costume, and you erase it with CGI face with the damn cartoon version. Like, what the hell? What was that?
I think Joss Whedon was just like doing lines of cocaine. It's like. Just like having fun, just like how many ways can I fuck this up?
Yeah. Hey, Josh, how can we ruin this scene?
Yeah.
Hey, we could do this and this and this and this and this.
Let's reshoot all these scenes with freaking Mark Hamill. No, not Mark Hamill. With Henry Cavill, and even though he's got a mustache now, let's freaking CGI. Whatever. We won't get into that. But okay, so yeah, they show up, badass music's playing, okay, and we get a nice freaking already the world here is so much better than it is in the shit cut, right? Because it's darker, like the colors the saturation, like everything there is way better than it was it was all bright before, now it's dark and it's
it's all CGI and this one's more darker tone, don't heavily rely on CGI as much. Yeah, it just again the movie looks spectacular.
Batman strolls in. Okay, he takes the tower down, no problems. He just it's easy, it's a walk in the park for him. Tower comes down, he crash lands on the other side. But then we get a really cool sequence this is way extended from the shit cut too, where they're all working together to kick these demon guys, parademons.
The parademons.
They're all working together to kick their ass. So that was cool, and it was a much better sequence. I know a lot of it was used in the other cut, but it just looks a lot better here. And
because they got rid of all the red bullshit or whatever the hell that was all about.
Yeah, that was so stupid. But and this so this sequence was it looked fantastic. It was intense. The score was incredible here throughout. I thought that all that was cool. And then
he's trying to get all the parademons out of the way so that the other Justice League members could go into the big tower to stop Steppenwolf, to stop the mother boxes from joining together. But of course, their team, they don't want to leave one another behind, so they save Batman. And of course, we get Aquaman just having the time of his life kicking ass. Right on, brother. Woo! And just stabbing bitches and all that, blood just going everywhere. It was fucking badass, man.
Yeah, that was the part. Yeah, the blood. I mean, this thing is freaking. There's freaking heads flying off. There's blood squirting everywhere. It's fantastic.
Batman even blew up a guy.
And there was. I also liked there was a slow mo shot of the gang kind of working together, flying down the road. That was nice. Mm-hmm. I don't even think that was even in the original cut. Jason says that Darkseid isn't even in the 2017 version. That'd be like Avengers Infinity War and Endgame without Thanos. What is this decision? Exactly. It does not make any sense. It was ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's like wiping before you poop. It doesn't make any sense. But that's a bad joke. Anyways, Destiny is a fan of The Dark Knight. That's her favorite Batman. Technically, that's my favorite Batman too. I love Christian Bale. Let's see here. And Chris is getting a little ahead here, but we're definitely going to talk about that exchange because that's to me my favorite scene of the entire movie.
Yeah, we're going to get into that here in just a minute when we get to the epilogue. Matt Fauci is in the house. He wanted to step by and show some love. Thanks for stepping in, my friend. Walker, Texas Ranger is here for you. and we are ready to
Walker,
rock.
Texas Ranger.
But yeah, okay, so they duke it out with Steppenwolf a little bit after Cyborg gets up. Like another good sequence. Okay, this is one of my favorite parts too, is when Steppenwolf and Wonder Woman are duking it out here, and he this is where he throws that line that you mentioned earlier about him or her leaving
Her sisters.
Her sisters when they all got slayed by him, and another good freaking Duke session between the two here, man. And you could really feel that line was not in the 2017 version.
No.
By the way. So it was cool. It's much darker. It's really throwing Steppenwolf some more, some more umph behind him, like making him more of a badass and just making things more personal, man. And I really love that.
Yeah, and the plan, too, for all of this is that Wonder Woman and Aquaman were supposed to fight Steppenwolf and distract him. Batman is defending the outside to make sure the parademons didn't get into the tower. And then Cyborg was going to try to access the mother boxes to avoid them not, forming in the one. And they even warned it, gave detail about it, what's dangerous about it is that they're going to tell Cyborg of all these lies that he has to deceive away from. And then the Flash had the most important role in this damn movie. His goal was to generate enough speed to create an electrical charge where Cyborg could get into those mother boxes, which we're going to go into detail why that was so important for the Flash. For that too.
So obviously they're duking it out with Steppenwolf. Things are going a little bit sour, and then that's when Superman shows up in that black uniform. And he just destroys Steppenwolf here. Not even a question. He shows up, and it's not like it was in the cartoon. He shows up, he's not smiling as he's no, he comes down here and kicks his ass. He kicks his fucking ass.
He goes, I'm not impressed. And then he freaking blows on the axe, makes it freezes it and breaks it. I'm like, oh shit, Superman means fucking business.
Yeah, seriously. It's not, he doesn't fly in and say, I believe in the truth.
Do you
I'm also a fan of justice. What the fuck? God, I can't get over that. It's not that, man. It's more serious. He comes in, he kicks ass, and we knew he would because the way he kicked the Justice League's ass earlier, right? Without any effort. He comes in here and destroys Steppenwolf. Ultimately, he beats his ass, and they just separate the boxes. We can talk about the Flash sequence real quick.
Let's talk about the Flash sequence because what happens, the box actually joins all together, they failed. And then that's when Darkseid actually makes his appearance, I guess opening up a portal, and the box just destroys everything, kills every member of the Justice League and all that, the end, everybody's dead. Besides the Flash, he broke his one rule where he goes so damn fast that he actually reverses time. And that's how he was able to fix everything because he was going so fast and to give Cyborg that electrical charge he needed. And as Cyborg was going into the box, and I believe Toronto Freddy made a reference to this in the comment section earlier, Cyborg sees a vision of Darkseid just fucking killing people, where Wonder Woman's funeral, where she died. We see Darkseid kill Aquaman in Atlantis. And him beating the hell out of Superman in the black Superman outfit too. I thought that was really cool to kind of show a little sneak peek in the future of if we get Justice League 2 by Zack Snyder, hopefully, which I'm sure he will after the success of this Snyder cut. I thought that was awesome. To show kind of little teases as Cyborg sees himself and his parents. That, and of course he's not falling for it. It's nope, I'm not alone. I'm not weak. I got friends now. You're not going to treat me, box. And that's when him and Superman were able to separate the boxes and to separate them. And it was just all of it was just a great sequence.
Yeah, that was cool. I like the way when he pops in there and he sees his parents there, and obviously his other version, and they're trying to convince him it's time to die. And he's no, just like he said, no, we're not going to do that. And then, so basically the boxes form together, shit's hitting the fan, the world's about to end. And then Flash does his thing, like you just said. And it was an emotional, it was Flash's big moment, dude. And it was awesome to see because in the other version, he pushes a car out of harm's
Oh,
way.
I felt so bad for Flash in the piece of shit movie, but yeah, I was just so happy he finally got treated damn seriously in this movie, and that's what I loved about this movie too. Each member of the Justice League had an equally important role, like they were
Yes.
all treated equally, and that is extremely
Yeah.
hard to do. Especially like that's where Marvel failed too, like treating each member equally because there's so many of them you really couldn't. But you had 6 members, and it was way easier to do that. And I was just so happy for Flash, like having this big moment.
Yeah, I was too, man. That was, I mean, it was a tearjerker, man. The way he freaking he had his little monologue there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm one of the big boys here, man." Like he's like, no matter what happens, just know that I was one of them. I was like, "Ah, this is dope, man."
Yeah, dude, yeah, it gave me chills.
Yeah, and then okay, ultimately Superman kills the shit out of Steppenwolf, cuts his head off. Well, actually, Wonder Woman. Cuts his head off. Superman kicks him back through the portal, and then Wonder Woman chops the head off. He goes back in, freaking with his head missing, and that was like dope as shit. Like that was like, I mean, yeah, that's straight rated R, freaking head chopping off. That was cool.
Yeah, and that's when the portal closes. The Justice League won.
And it was cool, and they crawl out, and they have their big moment together, just kind of like at the end of the other version, but this one's cooler. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I want to get back to, before we get to the other stuff, there's a few chats here. Toronto Freddy said,
because we're going to get into Epilogue next.
He said the slow-mo shot over the Batmobile of them all was fucking metal, and yes, it was. That was great. It worked really well, and it really fit in with the scene too, man, with the way the music was playing and the way they were out there kicking ass. I really enjoyed that. Jason says that he's convinced that Batman 22 will be his favorite Batman film. We will see, but for now it's Batman Begins. But the warehouse brawl in Batman vs Superman is my favorite Batman scene. More street brawling, please. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, like we got the detective side of Batman. Now I want to see, like, as Sinister Jason pointed out, we want to see the Batman that actually beats the hell out of people.
And we saw that in the trailer from the Robert Pattinson version here coming in. We saw that in the trailer where he's just beating ass, and it was.
And he says, "I am vengeance." Like, oh, yeah, like that badass.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and he also says, "Here, I'll click on this one." He also says that this was a planned trilogy. Please complete the Snyderverse Justice League trilogy. I am 110% on board with that. It needs to happen.
Mikey says, so who is faster, the Flash or Superman? They have both turned back time from speed. Who you got? That's a question we do not need answered, and we're not going to see answered in this movie because that was stupid as fuck.
Yeah, the piece of shit version.
Yeah. But if I had to pick, I would say probably Superman would be faster.
See, I don't know, from the Smallville series, the Flash actually is faster, but again, we get a teenage Clark Kent. So, but with adult Clark Kent, maybe Superman's faster. I love the unknown.
No, they don't do the race in this one. That was the stupidest damn thing. I can't.
Yeah, that's like, that's so stupid. It's like, if I win, I get to tell everybody. What happens if you win? You have to take everybody out to brunch. It's so cringy. Yeah, it's so cringy, man.
Nice.
But yeah, overall in this last sequence here, the battle here, I thought it was far superior, obviously, to the piece of shit version. Just the tone was still there. It was much darker. It didn't look as fake. The score was leaps and bounds better, and everything pays off because we've had all this time before this to get to know the characters, right? And that's what the most important thing is here. We have time to understand Cyborg's. He's got. It's not just black and white with him. He's got there's difficult things threaded into his character up to this point. Flash, we get to see him kind of grow as the young little guy, the newest superhero, if you will. I guess technically Cyborg would be the newest one, but Flash is the one that's the most you could say immature maybe. And you see him kind of grow up here. And Wonder Woman, they just all worked, like you said, Brett. They all are equally important in this, and it's just awesome to see how important Cyborg and Flash were in this end sequence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Like part 6, ended so great, while also setting up for as Jason's pointed out, a future trilogy because I'm all for the trilogy.
I am too. I gotta say, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I would love it if it did. At this point, the freaking DC is a mess, dude. They've had other Jokers coming out. They have another Batman coming in. They like the Wonder Woman 84 did not match at all in tone what this one is.
No.
It's like it's all over the place.
That movie's going to be forgotten. I guarantee it.
I hope this can make some things happen and we can come back to this darker tone and finish this Vision out. But I just at the same time, it's like, okay, you've already kind of told everybody to forget about this stuff and you made new stuff. And now you're going to be like, okay, no, let's go back to that stuff. It's a lot to ask for your fans to follow up with. But I think for all of us, obviously, we would love to see it. Yeah.
So, Chris, any thoughts about that epic conclusion we discussed, or did we just blow your mind?
Mind blown, buddy. No, I don't really have anything. What you got there, man?
Let Neptune strike you down, Winslow.
Oh, you can't. That's not what that is. Is that really what that is?
Yeah, that's Lighthouse.
So why'd you spill your beans? Yeah, dude. I don't fucking love that guy.
Yeah. So,
mind blown, man. But yeah, I was second what you guys said. I think the big thing, even though I didn't watch all the fucking parts yet, the big difference was just the tone and the and making sure that each character was much more fleshed out. Because like Cyborg in the shit cut was like a throwaway character, basically. I mean,
so much a throwaway character. It was a crime.
And the Flash both, and it's good to see that all of Ezra Miller's fighting practice paid off in his real life. You guys know that he choke slammed a chick in like Iceland or something.
Yeah,
right?
That was just fucking unfortunate. Dumbass thing for him to do.
Yeah,
your way of describing it.
Well, yeah, Wayne Brady had to choke a bitch, so it's not, I'm sorry. I got off track here. But no, I think it was really cool that everybody got fleshed out way more. And because all the characters, even Batman and Superman, and the shit cut, you could give a fuck less about, right? You're watching, and you're like, I don't care. And then you get to the end, and it's just like a big cartoon. So I like that it gave you something to care about and made you root for the characters in this one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely, and it really did accomplish that. Let's get a couple more of these comments in, and we'll go into the epilogue. And we'll go with our final thoughts about the entire Snyder cut.
Okay.
Let's see here. Where was the last one? Chris Snyder. If release the Snyder Cut movement worked, then I hope that the Restore the Snyderverse movement will work as well. Yeah, I am totally on board with it. And I feel like we could fix it with like an Aquaman 2 and Wonder Woman 3, kind of like matching the tone from this Snyder Cut. Like, I feel like it really could easily be fixed. And along with if I do hope we get another Man of Steel movie that can also match the tone of this as well.
That's what I was about to say. A Man of Steel movie would really do the trick and get us right in the back in the right direction, I think.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Toronto from earlier said that's not where the premonition was to. This was the scout ship where they resurrect Superman. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Again, all over the place. I've only seen the movie once. So, yeah, shame on me. Toronto Freddy's the MVP of this whole stream right now.
He's also going to be in Bretman's Dreams later, slicing them up in the little pieces.
Yeah, going to gut me like a fish.
Yeah.
Sinister Cinema says, I love that the MCU is the live fun series and that the DCEU is the dark series. Exactly. And that's what Warner Brothers then missed out on the opportunity to be different. They just tried to be Marvel where everybody wanted them to not be Marvel and to be the complete opposite. This is where they fucked up, trying to copy the MCU. This is their thing. Embrace your thing. Exactly. Do not be 100%. Afraid to embarrass.
You said it best, my friend. I think that's exactly where when DC embraces this identity and becomes dark like it needs to be, I like it more than Marvel all day, like the Dark Knight trilogy and like the Joker movie with Joaquin and even to this to an extent, like I like darker stuff. I like stuff like, True Detective, things like that. That stuff is what, I love. So seeing these darker tones, especially in a comic book movie, it makes a difference for me, and I'm much more into it for sure.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. If in Toronto Freddy thinks that Wonder Woman 84 was an absolute dumpster fire, I wouldn't necessarily call it a dumpster fire. I just just missed out a place. Like Wonder Woman 84 tried to be another Marvel movie, which it did not deserve, or which it did not needed to be. But I did love Pedro Pascal's performance in that movie.
Yeah, that was pretty solid.
Yeah, I thought he was solid. And then Kristen Wiig, I thought she did a good job, but even though she wasn't in the movie a ton, like she was forgotten at one point, which was bullshit.
So
overall, it missed on some parts, but it was mainly a movie just to bring back freaking Chris Pine, which I honestly felt like he was not needed in the movie whatsoever.
No.
And they made the whole plot for that, and it was ridiculous. And I'm starting to agree with Toronto Freddy on this fact. When I first watched it, I was like, okay, it's kind of in the middle. But then, like, the more and more as time has gone on, I'm like, that movie really didn't.
Just the more we think about it, and the more like I kind of like think about it and rewatch it, or just watch certain scenes, like the score just keeps on going down for me. So I kind of quit. So it doesn't even go down to like even the negatives because it's that bad.
I thought Kristen Wiig did a good job in there, man. When we got to the end, like whenever the CGI battle between them at the end, dude, I was like, please. Just tell me this is not real, so.
Yeah, and Chris Snyder says, I liked Wonder Woman 84 better than the first, but damn, the movie did not fit with this at all, and it's easily forgettable. Yeah, especially with this Snyder cut, it's easily going to be forgettable. Like, I totally agree with that.
I'm so surprised, Chris, by your replacement of Wonder Woman. I saw your list earlier on Facebook, and I was like, he doesn't like it. But the only reason which is fine. I'm glad you have your own opinion. I think that's awesome. But Wonder Woman, I think, is my favorite in all of these movies, man. I love that first one.
Mm-hmm, yeah. It's just I wish they had a better villain or build up Ares better. Sinister Cinemas.
It was a fine movie.
Yeah, like it was really good. It's just like Ares is supposed to be your big bad guy, and I've never really gotten that feel that he was treated as a big bad guy.
That's very true.
But it is what it is. So, but Sinister Cinema says, I was genuinely shocked by how bad I thought Wonder Woman 84 was. I still can't believe it. I have so many questions that there are no possible answers to. I just sat there in disbelief. Unreal. No, trust me, I feel your pain because I was like that way. I'm like such a misfire on this movie.
Totally.
So, y'all want to talk about the epilogue now?
Yeah, let's talk about those things.
All right. Well, the epilogue is kind of like the aftermath after everything that's happened. We get Cyborg playing like earlier in the movie. His Cyborg's dad left a little recording for him to speak only as a scientist, but also as his father. And he destroys the recording right as it gets to the father message. But Cyborg fixes the recording, and we got to listen to the message, and the message kind of fits into every like Justice League member scenario, which I thought that was a really nice touch.
I agree. That was a really cool way to end this thing up and wrap everything up.
Like in a nice little bow. And then, of course, we get back to the like Martha's house being because at the beginning of the movie, Martha's house she lost the house and all that, and she got it back at the end of the movie. And Superman was asking Batman, going, "How did you get the house back from the bank?" Well, I bought the bank, like a classic Bruce Wayne.
I like the scene too, where Bruce walks into the mansion, the Wayne Manor, and he's all excited. He's more excited about this manor now than Rocky was in Rocky 2, where he's buying the house and he's like, "Oh yeah, I could put a punching bag right over there." Now you got freaking Batfleck walking through here, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we need a table right here with 6 chairs."
Well, actually, that was from in the bullshit cut.
I know that was all in there. It was just kind of
that was in the book. They got rid of all of that. The only thing they did was they just showed the room in a wide angle, and that was it. Like,
no, he still did say, "We're gonna put a table here." Yeah, he threw that line out there. But I liked it. It was cool.
It was a good line.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. He was just jacked. He was pumped, man. Like it brought me back to when Rocky bought his first house, and he was jacked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was cool. I like that sequence. And the one you just mentioned there too, with Lois Lane and Mrs. Clark and whatnot, that was cool. And then the Lex Luthor scene they also showed at the end of the shit cut. It was changed up a little bit here though on the boat.
Mm-hmm. It was because in the shit cut they talked about the the Justice, or he didn't call them the Justice, so he's like, they got a group of their own. I think we should have our group as too. And we're like, oh, the Legion of Doom.
Ooh, yeah.
Or yeah. Wait, is it the Legion of Doom? I think
Legion
it's
of
the
Doom.
Legion of Doom. I've turn on frame. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But yes, but they got rid of all that bullshit. They even went something even deeper. Lex Luthor was talking to Deathstroke, and all that, and it's telling, well, it's calls for a celebration. You know what? I'm going to help you out. Batman is Bruce Wayne. And Deathstroke
cool.
gets super excited already, like, oh shit, I can use this to my advantage. I'll drink to that. And I thought that was a better end sequence than hinting at the whole Legion of Doom thing.
Yeah, that was so cool. I love the way the prison shot, or the prison scene is shot, though, too.
Yes.
With that was pretty intense, man.
And they actually acknowledged it came from Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really neat. And then there was another one. Obviously, we had the Martian Manhunter part of this, where that
he
was
goes over
cool.
to Bruce's house.
Yeah, he just shows up for some morning coffee, and they kind of set that up with him coming to help the team.
Yeah, which how do y'all, or Brad, how do you feel about the look of the Martian Manhunter? Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't like the look.
I honestly don't know anything about the Martian Manhunter, so I don't know. I thought he looked cool. I didn't have any problems with it. I don't know how he's supposed to look though.
Well, like he looked fine. I just felt like he could have looked better. And I like what even before we got on the show, you mentioned that maybe it was a budget reason or something like that, which I hope so. I hope they do make him look a little bit better, and if the trilogy does come into fruition.
Yeah, so, Freddie, I got to get to this because this is something I was kind of referring to earlier when we see the pregnancy test earlier in the movie when she gets into the drawer. And I did pick up when Bruce tells Clark, congratulations, by the way. And I meant to mention that earlier. I did not see the baby basket in the noticed the baby basket in Lois's arms on the stairs. I did not notice that, but I do remember Bruce telling Clark, congratulations, by the way. But yeah, you go back. So yeah, I think that's a confirmation with the baby basket there.
I thought it was for the engagement. I didn't realize about the basket.
Yeah, I thought it was for the engagement. I put that. I remember him saying congratulations and thinking back to the pregnancy test, but I didn't see this baby basket thing, the further evidence to really solidify this deal that the super babies are coming out. So that's cool, man. Thanks for pointing that out, Freddie.
Yeah, and then so. Anything else on the Martian Manhunter? Because pretty much all he said was, "I'm the Martian Manhunter, and I'm going to be working with you guys."
I think it's cool. I really no, yeah. I think it was fine, and it was an exciting moment. Again, I don't know much about the guy, so I mean, I know he's cool, so I think it's exciting. But you know,
and then that was the very last thing shown in the entire Snyder Cut, because before that, Bruce was having a dream, and this is what everybody's come here for us to talk about: the dream.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, which it was heavily shown in Batman versus Superman, about just the whole apocalypse kind of setting, where Superman's gone mad, Bruce's big fear, and we actually get to see who was a part of this new Justice League, Brad. It was Batman, it was Deathstroke, it was Chris. You said her name was Mira, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, we got Mira, we got Cyborg, and we got an adult version of the Flash,
which is awesome.
Yeah, he looked awesome, and plus it matched with the kind of like the sequence in Batman vs Superman where the Flash is trying to warn Bruce about Lois is the key.
Yeah, which it doesn't show it earlier in this one, by the way. In the shit cut, it has this weird sequence where Bruce is like, the wind is blowing like some, I don't know, like he's sitting under a fan and Flash is there and he's like, oh, look, it doesn't show this. He mentions it in passing. He says, I just had this thing and Flash was standing right here and he said Lois was the key. So that was cool. But anyway,
and we get the reason why she's the key.
Yeah. And I love the buildup of this too, man.
The buildup is great. And then, of course, Chris said everybody that I said with Batman, Flash, Cyborg, Mira, and Deathstroke. And the person, and I was like, when I was watching the Snyder Cut for the first time, I'm like, where the hell is Joker in all this? Because I was worried that they promoted Joker, but this just didn't show him. Oh, we saw him all right.
Yes.
Yeah, you did get the feeling though in those promotional things that they've been putting out the past couple of weeks that he was gonna like be in it. He was gonna be some part of it or whatever. So it was weird that he only shows up in a dream sequence.
I got the feel. I thought it was going to be a dream sequence too, just because the way it matches the Batman v Superman dream sequence, because it's the exact same. Like Batman's wearing the same thing. It's post-apocalyptic, a field, desert kind of thing going on out there. So I was like, this is probably going to be the next saga, the next episode, I guess, of Bruce's nightmare here. And I did think he was going to be maybe in it a little bit more, but what we got from him here was probably my favorite Batman and Joker segment that I've ever seen. Like
like their interaction between each other since the Dark Knight interrogation scene.
Yeah, like to me, it might even top that. It was like Batman's like, what did he say exactly?
Yeah, it was like, watch what you say next.
Yeah, he said, when I kill you, and make no mistake, I will fucking kill you. Like I was like, holy shit, dude, this is badass. Like this is freaking. This is what I've wanted to see from these two, because obviously they have a pretty dark, and because he's talking about his adopted son being killed and all this stuff. Like they've had a past in this world, and I want to see more of it. I want to see this get completely fleshed out. But before we kind of get to the Joker part, I love the buildup of this nightmare sequence, because it starts out with what's the girl's name that's there?
Mira.
Mira. She says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to pay for him. I'm going to make him pay for what he did to Aquaman." And just saying that he killed him or whatever with his own spear, yada yada. It's cool. They're saying he a lot. You're assuming it's going to be Darkseid or something, right?
Yeah, I thought it was Darkseid too.
But as more clues come in, they're talking about Superman, right? And they're like, "Let him come down. I'm going to freaking beat his ass or whatever." And oh yeah, thanks, Chris. But yeah, I love I'm going to get to that here in a second. But I love the way it kind of builds up, kind of makes you think he's talking about Darkseid, and the clues come in, and you're like, oh no, they're talking about Superman, and he's probably like even more strong. Like, so this is bad news bears.
Yeah, because they mentioned when Lois died, because that's what set Superman off, and that's why Lois is the key. Because now that her being the key is that she has to stay alive, because if she's dead, Superman would go batshit crazy.
Yeah, and it makes sense, right? Because she is the reason that he kind of snapped out of his.
Like she is the reason for him being alive.
Yeah, so I love this quote here. Chris Snyder popped it in here for us. He said, this is Batman to Joker. He said, I told Harley Quinn when she was taking her last breath in my arms that when I kill you, and believe me, I will fucking kill you, that I will do it slowly. I'm like, that's fucking dark shit from Batman.
Yeah, if freaking Jared Leto just laughs or just smiles or going like, "Oh, you're good."
It was freaking dope, man.
Do we know if this was footage they had from before, or is this new footage with Leto in there?
This one was new footage.
New.
Brand new. No, I mean, I know it wasn't in the shit cut, but did they just film it? Did they just shoot this, or was this something they had?
Yeah, this is something they filmed. They filmed just for this just recently.
That's what I was thinking. I wonder why they chose to go. I mean, I know Leto was supposed to be in it like from the very get go, but I wonder why they went that route instead of getting Joaquin Phoenix in there.
Well, because I feel like. Oh, go ahead, Brad.
No, you go ahead, Bert.
Well, no, I think the reason for the Joaquin Phoenix, I think he's going to maybe be attached more to the Robert Pattinson Batman than
if he's attached to anything.
Yeah, because they haven't really established if he's attached to anything. That'll just have to be determined in the future. Which I'll put kind of preferentially. I kind of like Joaquin Phoenix Joker to be like by himself, like an individual movie, not like be a part of any kind of universe. But if he is going to be a part of a universe, I want him to be a part of the Robert Pattinson Batman universe, because I feel like he will fit more into that.
Yeah,
that could be the case.
I like the sequence here because it tells you this is Snyder. This is him brainstorming for years about what he would have done to flesh things out. Like this is him saying, okay, if I were to make a whole movie based on this Batman premonition, this nightmare thing, and make it a reality, what would I do? And he's like, he cranks it up here and tells you exactly what the fuck he would do. And it would beat anything. I think it would be absolutely incredible such a dark movie full of dread and something that I would absolutely love to see, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, it was just an awesome interaction. And then that's when you hear like a thud, and they're like, and oh, they were freaking out bad. They're like, crap, he found us. And then that's when Superman does the Superman landing. And then he's got the red eyes and all that, looking all freaking pissed off and evil. And like, and that's how then Bruce wakes up from the dream, and that's how the dream sequence ends. Oh, and of course Joker's laughing too, going ah.
Yeah, and you know they're outmatched. I mean, there's 4 of them there. Like they're not gonna be able. They're gonna be no match for Superman, and they're fucked at that point. And I love that. Could you imagine if we got this full movie fleshed out, based on with Batman rocking around with his jacket on in the desert, and these other guys, and Aquaman's fucking dead. Like, could you imagine that? Could you imagine if you got something that dark and that twisted in a freaking comic book setting?
Yeah, like have you ever played the Injustice games?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's kind of like what I got. Like, this is going to be like an Injustice movie.
Yeah, I would pay so much money
to see this happen.
I would definitely go to the theater and check that out. That would probably be my favorite superhero movie of all time if it were made and it was fleshed out. And I don't know how they would make it work with everybody dying and shit, but it would be dope.
Yeah, it won't be like Marvel where they just bring everybody back.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though so far they've done a pretty good job not bringing back Iron Man or Captain America, even though with the whole introduction to the multiverse, like that can easily change. But we're not going to get into that. Like that's a whole nother video we can talk about. We're still talking about DC. But yes, Toronto Freddy, back to my Injustice line, because I knew about this. What happened was the Joker kills Lois because the Joker's goal was to turn Superman evil, and he accomplishes that goal.
That would be fucking rock and roll.
And we get the badass scene where Superman kills Joker by ripping through his chest and grabbing his heart. Like, it's brutal shit. It's awesome.
This was going places, guys. This whole I could not imagine how good of a movie that would be.
Yeah, dude,
to see.
Badass.
Yeah. And Leto, I think he knocked out the performance. Like this.
Snyder brings me hope again that they can make Jared Leto a respectable Joker, unlike that stupid Suicide Squad movie. Unless if we get the director's cut for that Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because there might be talks now to doing a director's cut for that movie.
Well, whatever. But Leto freaking absolutely knocked it out of the park in his little cameo here, and honestly, I want to see more of him now. And in this world, sign me up, man. I would love to see this.
Yeah, and with that, that's it. All 7 parts of the Justice League Snyder Cut.
Absolutely. I got a couple chats here, Bert.
Yeah, address it, because I think Jason asked a really good question earlier.
He asked a couple good things. He says, we should have a good old-fashioned book burning with the 2017 version Blu-ray, DVDs, and 4Ks. I would, but I never bought the damn thing because it's garbage and dog shit. So
I would just buy one at Target. I'll buy all the copies at Target and just like outside their parking lot have like a big bonfire.
That's a good idea. I'll buy it just to burn it. That's a great idea. I could do that. And then he also says, here's a good question. He says, here's an interesting question. Do you prefer anything from the 2017 version? I can't think of literally anything. I can't either. There's absolutely nothing about that that's even close to what this thing accomplishes. Right. The best parts about that is stuff that's in this too.
Mm-hmm. Like I'll throw like a little honorable mention that like kind of like that made me chuckle. But again, that's just like the Marvel side of me, because if everybody knows, I'm a huge Marvel fan. It's like when Aquaman was having that, emotional speech, and then like he lifts up his leg and it's the lasso of truth. And then he told Flash, it's like, if you tell anybody, I'll send every piranha I know to eat you.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I thought that was funny, even though that's Marvel humor. So like, I wouldn't want it in the Snyder Cut and all that. So to answer Jason's question, I do not. That piece of shit movie does not need to be ever mentioned again. I thought the Snyder Cut was just awesome with all of it.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Yeah,
He's here.
Chris says the same thing. He says Phoenix. Oh, yeah, Phoenix Joker's gonna be his own thing. Yeah, that's for sure. And then he said that was an Injustice reference with Lois dying and Superman going mad. It sure was, my friend.
Chill.
And then Leto is part of the Snyderverse. Ben Affleck is in Suicide Squad. Yes, that is correct. We do see Ben Affleck's Batman in Suicide Squad.
I didn't even think about that.
And then Toronto Freddy hates the Jared Leto Joker laugh.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that either.
I'm okay with it. Like, I like the whole tattoo on his thing going, yeah, okay, never mind. I don't like the laugh. Who am I kidding? Do you know what they Mark Hamill they could have brought Mark Hamill to be Joker.
Yeah, they could.
And then Chris wants the Ayer cut. That's what it's called for Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. But yeah, man, overall, I just that sequence got me. The way this, not to mention this thing set up. Not outside of the nightmare sequence here, like there was other setups for future sequels too, with Darkseid and everything going on, talking about how he's going to do his thing. I want to see all that, man. I think I was telling the guys here earlier that I think one thing, like obviously we're talking about earlier how the DC is kind of a mess, how they've changed the tone over and over again, and they've changed the direction they're going over and over again, just to complete and utter disaster of where their state of things are at this point. But I think one thing they could do with this storyline is create like an HBO Max original series, let Snyder run the show and just do his own thing and let him do it. And it can be its own little universe, and if they want to keep making these Robert Pattinson Batmans and Joaquin Phoenix Jokers, they can do that on the cinematic scale, but just keep this thing running, man.
Yeah. Like what's going to be important too, like Val's just like really determine everything. It's the Flash movie that's coming out next year, I believe. I think it's next year that Flash is coming out because he'll be going back in time. That's where we're going to get Michael Keaton Batman back.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so like that's going and plus it's going to be interesting too, just to see what kind of tone that movie gets right after the Snyder Cut being released. Because that's going to make a huge difference in everything.
Yeah, totally.
Totally.
I want to see them revert back to this tone.
Yeah.
Andy Muschietti is directing that too, by the way. I think it's going to be a nice fit. Mm-hmm. The guy who did the It movies. Yeah.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. We might get a Balloon or Pennywise reference, or we might get Brad's Pennywise in the movie. We don't know.
You never know, man.
Since we got 6 people, before we even continue, should we show them the trailer?
Yeah, let's show it before we do our score. We got a little small trailer.
Sensor Sima says, "Good stream, guys. Off to watch the Snyder Cut again. See you in a few days." I think he's referencing to Chris Snyder's stream he's going to be having on Tuesday, where I will be on there as well, and we're going to be talking more about the Snyder Cut too, and get Chris Snyder's full thoughts on the Snyder Cut. So I'm looking forward to talking some more Snyder Cut with him.
Totally, yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be awesome.
So yeah, let's since we appreciate you all being here, and I'm sure a lot of y'all saw this already, but again, let's show it again. Here is the trailer for our skit of It, Pennywise, and Georgie.
Well, fuck!
Awesome stuff. I cannot wait to release that.
Yeah, and our good buddy Chris down here is the man behind the entire project. He is what we call our director for all of it, and he did a great job directing, and he's editing it as we are speaking. And I know Chris is going to do a phenomenal job. So, Chris, we appreciate that. We're looking forward to the final product.
Almost there, buddy. We're in the home stretch.
It's going to be great. It's very far into post production at this point, to say the
Fuck
least.
you, dude. I'm trying, man. I swear.
No, it's just funny. It's just funny giving it that post production title for something like this. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. But yeah, just a few more thoughts here for Snyder Cut.
Our final thoughts.
Is there anything you guys didn't like about it? I know, Chris, you haven't seen it all yet, but Brett, is there anything you didn't like about it?
It was too long.
I knew.
No, I'm just kidding. That's always my joke. But no, I feel like they could have made it like a 3-hour film, though. Like, honestly, I feel like they could have. Like, there's some parts of it where it just wasn't really needed. I appreciate Chris, or I was about to say Chris Snyder. I appreciate Zack Snyder releasing everything, like not holding back any punches, just putting his full vision out there. And I thought he did a fantastic job. Yeah, there could have been some more tweaking done with it. It's not perfect, but it's damn close to being perfect. So if I'm going to score this bad boy, I'm doing a 4.75 out of 5.
Okay, so I agree. I think it could have been. I think even this could have been shorter. I think anything. Really, nothing needs to be 4 hours. And yes, Chris, I do. I actually, Brett doesn't appreciate you, Chris Snyder here.
I knew that was coming.
I know. I appreciate you as well. I actually do appreciate you. I was going to say that Brett doesn't, but I do. But anyway, but yeah, we're going to get into the. Sorry. So yeah, I think anything 4 hours, like nothing, no movie really needs to be 4 hours. It could be split up into multiple flicks or whatever. Again, that just goes back to the Warner Brothers not planning this thing out, though. Mm-hmm. It's nothing that Snyder did in particular. I think what he did with what he had to work with is he made something pretty epic here.
Because he had to go explain some things too.
Yeah, he had a lot to build up in this thing, and really, it should have been 2 movies or 3 movies or whatever. Like it should have been more. But yeah, again, it was a little long. It could have been, even this could have been cut down to some extent. And again, just the overall story is still kind of a mess. Like, just because of how much it was rushed. You know what I mean? Like, because it bounces around a lot. I think this one flows better than Batman versus Superman, but it still needed to be set up a little bit more, I think. But overall, again, with what they had to work with here, I think they did a really good job. And I think this is night and day difference between the shit version and CGI here and there, but no major complaints about it. Just my only complaints about this movie is the fact that it came out when it did and not set up as well as it could have been. But what they started with this, they were righting those wrongs with what could have came after this.
And how would you rate it?
I'd give it a 4.5. I'd give it a 4.5.
Nice. And so that is going to come out to a total of the Yippee Ki Yay.
Yippee Ki Yay. Haven't done one of those in a while.
Yes. Yeah, we haven't done a Yippee Ki Yay. So again, this movie deserves the Yippee Ki Yay. And Chris, for everything we've discussed, like, does this get you more excited to finish the Snyder Cut?
Yeah, man, of course. Only got a couple more to go. I'll probably finish it up tomorrow. I just thought I was going to have enough time, and I ended up hanging out with my sister a whole bunch. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to go finish it up. I mean, you could tell even in the first 2 little parts there that it's quite a bit different. Like I said at the beginning, I thought it was just going to be like, it's going to add like 15 or 20 minutes of extra footage in there, whatever. So when I realized it was like 4 hours long, and from the second that you started, it's like, it's not even anything close to what the shit cut was. I was like, it had me pretty pumped for that.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. What do you think about this?
Yeah, you got the big hug mug on there too? Where'd you get all these, man?
Oh, man.
Put that cigarette out in.
But yeah, guys. I just want to address the chat real quick. Like, I'm going to read a couple more comments. So, like, if you want to ask any more questions about the Snyder Cut, like our thoughts on it, just go right ahead. Like, because we will be happy to answer them.
Mikey says, Snyder Cut of your Pennywise film.
Dude, that would be sick.
It's going to be good, guys. It's going to be really nice, I think. And
from the trailer, you can tell there's a little hint that there might be a certain character that'll pop up.
Maybe. We'll see.
Oh, and Toronto Freddy, I didn't know that, dude. Guys, I didn't know that. I never knew Georgie wore glasses. I didn't either. Let's see here. Chris Snyder is excited, or he can't wait to see Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck in the same movie. Oh, is that what it's going to be? I didn't know the Ben Affleck Batman was going to be in Flash. Dude, that would
I
be
think they were
awesome.
bringing in, they were bringing in some different things, like kind of it's almost kind of like that Spider-Man movie where we got multiple different Batman, like like for the viewers, it's gonna be fun.
Oh, dude. Okay, sorry, I have to address this just because I just thought of a great idea, or just a great thought. J-Man says, "Well, Lois being killed with a baby that would push Superman over the edge for sure. What if Lois is not like she? You know how they say about Lois is the key to everything. What if the reason she is the key just because she is holding Superman's baby?" And that baby could be the only thing that can beat Superman.
Oh, you got a thought there, Bertman.
Yeah, well, the J-Man just sparked the idea. Like that could be a huge possibility of why Lois is the key, and that's important.
Yeah, I like this idea from J-Man down here too. With Lois being killed with a baby. Yeah, and this series is actually dark enough to probably do that, and really just lead us to that freaking epic post-apocalyptic freaking world, Mad Max style out here with freaking rogue Batman and his jacket on.
We want it. Yeah,
me?
I want it.
God dang, that would be so awesome.
Like, even if it takes 10 years to get us that movie, I want it.
Yeah,
I want it too.
Let's talk about Batfleck here for a second. I thought Ben Affleck did a really good job in this thing too.
Oh, he was awesome.
Yeah, he was. His character was much
terrible
improved.
he was terrible in the piece of shit version, but in this one, he was a lot better.
I've always been a proponent of Batfleck, dude. I thought he did a good job as Bruce Wayne. I was skeptical at first, and I was like, hey, you know what? He's doing all right. You know.
Yeah, I feel like that's the way version.
with every Batman. You're like, I don't know if Christian Bale is going to be that great, and then it's like, oh man, he fucking killed it. The same thing with Ben Affleck, and I'm sure there's a lot of people even now they're like, I don't know if Robert Pattinson's going to do a good job, and I'm sure he'll fucking kill it too.
Yeah, I agree. That literally does come up every time. It kind of happens with the Joker sometimes too. Same kind of thing, and it always ends up working some one way or another. It's like people actually know how to cast Batman, and we don't.
Yeah,
but yeah, I
love the joke too. It goes like, well, what's your superpower? I'm rich.
I like that. That was a good. Yeah, that was a good little segment. But yeah, I thought. Don't fuck with me, man. Don't fuck with me. I thought but his character had a good arc in this, from where he was in Batman v Superman, where he was just fucking done with everything, and now he's all about hope and humanity and everything like that.
Yeah, because Superman made that huge impact on him.
Yeah, it was cool. I like to see that. And I think they were really headed in the right direction with this one, and now it's all over the damn place, unfortunately. This is something I never knew I wanted as much as I do now.
Yeah, I know, no kidding, right? J-Man from earlier said the Martian Manhunter looked great. I disagree. I felt like he could have been better to me. He just looked a little bit weird. I hope they clean him up a little bit more if they do go with the future trilogy, which I'm pretty sure at this point they're going to, with all the success it's having with like hashtag movements and all that. So I don't feel the same, but I'm glad you enjoyed him. And I am excited for Martian Manhunter being in here, but I want freaking the Green Lantern to show up next.
That'd be cool.
And then Chris Snyder says, yes, both of them are in The Flash. Talk about Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton. And then Toronto Frey gave the Snyder Cut a 9 out of 10, which that is a really good score.
Yeah, that's right there, essentially where I'm at. And let's see.
And then he says, I was one of the people that was rooting for Affleck when the who fucking internet were up in arms about his casting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I knew he would play a good Bruce Wayne. I just didn't know about Batman. But that damn warehouse scene sold me on Batman.
I was excited for him to be Batman, and I'm kind of sad he's not coming back. I mean, I guess he's coming back in the Flash thing, but I was digging it, man. And especially now after seeing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wasn't Ben
good.
Affleck one of the producers?
Yeah, probably. He had a big hand in it whenever he took over the role. But it kind of makes you wonder what, because I think part of the reason that he was like, "Oh, I'm out," was because of how shitty the piece of shit cut did. Yeah. Right. Is it kind of burned him out on it? He's like, well, I think I'm probably done with it after this. I think it was a pretty bad experience for them too. After Snyder left and Joss Whedon and all that shit. Was part of the reason why he left. So it's kind of sad now that all these years later that they finally put this out and people are going to be super excited for it, and then it's just going to be, a different Batman now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be fair, he did come back and reprise the role for some of the reshoots.
Yeah.
So maybe he would come back if they can somehow manage to make this thing keep rolling. So
he'll come back for the money.
Yeah.
They'll get a damn budget.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I'm looking on here too. Ben Affleck was a producer. Christopher Nolan was a producer.
He's listed as a producer on everything in DC because of
his trilogy.
Yeah.
He did have some kind of hand in Man of Steel.
That's
so
true,
from that point forward, like after the Dark Knight trilogy, they basically called him in and were like, "Hey, how do we fucking handle Superman, or how can we make Superman more like what you just did with Batman?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so ever since then, he's essentially been an executive producer, which means he doesn't do shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's it. Basically, it's saying, "Oh, he pointed us in the right direction." That's pretty much all. And yeah, Chris Snyder just said what we had thought, echoed what I had said a second ago. I think that was kind of part of the reason Affleck left was because they were doing everything so shittily at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a bunch of what ifs for the DCEU. Like if it was handled the right way with Snyder's vision, it really could have rivaled up to what Marvel was doing at the time.
Yeah, it's too far fucking gone now. It's like at the time when they very first started out, the Marvel universe was still pretty young, and I feel like they were going to kind of be like side by side a little bit, like as the universe has expanded, and now it's like obviously they'll never catch up to Marvel.
Yeah, well, I don't know. With this Snyder Cut, it could open a brand new door to opportunity for DCEU to take over Marvel, even though Marvel's doing their best to trying to keep that top spot with all the whole Disney Plus shows and all that.
Yeah, I have a question. Did you guys watched Aquaman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I really enjoyed Aquaman by James Wan.
Yeah. I never watched it. Like the Justice League, the shit cut, like burned me out on DC so bad that I don't think I've seen. I mean, I've watched the Wonder Woman movies, but outside of that, I don't think I didn't see Aquaman.
You need to watch Aquaman.
It actually took me a couple of years to watch Aquaman. I think I didn't see it. Well, maybe a year. I didn't watch it until just a few months ago.
Yeah,
you think it's pretty good?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Shot really well.
Yeah,
I'm sure James
there, so there you go. That's all you need.
Who? Columbus Bow?
Willem Dafoe.
Oh, Willem Dafoe. Yeah, buddy.
And freaking Patrick Wilson was in it too, playing the bad guy.
Oh yeah, right.
James Wan mainstay there.
Oh yeah.
Mikey says Affleck is the better Batman over Bale. Am I alone? I think given it's kind of tricky.
I'm a Bale guy just because I like the whole detective and all that.
I like Bale's movies more because of Nolan, right? But I actually think Matt Affleck had the potential to.
Matt Affleck, all right, Ben's older brother.
I think I actually do really like I like this take on Batman, the older, more dark Batman, not afraid to kill people. I like that take on Batman quite a bit. And I think he had a lot of potential. And after seeing this, he may very well be better than Bale in my book, but we'll have to wait and see. I need to rewatch those movies to confirm.
Yeah, and I got a question for the chat real quick, guys. I know we're probably going to wrap up here in a little bit. Who did you all think had the weakest performance out of the 6 Justice League members? Because, again, they did such a good job making them all equal, but you probably have that down in your mind that one's probably the weakest.
answer your question, Brett, I think for me, if I had to answer the question, I would actually say that Aquaman had the smallest role in this thing.
That's who I was going with because Aquaman only had a couple of things and he just got his ass whooped by Steppenwolf, but he didn't have like a big like character arc like Wonder Woman did, or like an important scene that Wonder Woman was part of with the temple. We got Flash, why he was so damn important, why Cyborg was important, why Superman was important. Batman got everybody together, and then there's just Aquaman.
Yeah,
I wonder
he's
if-
just kind of.
So I wonder if part of that now. No, I'm wrong. Never mind.
Well, I think what we're about to say was that because this was filmed before Aquaman came out, maybe.
Well, I was thinking that I was like, well, I think the if everything had gone to plan and this had came out, I think Aquaman wasn't too far behind, right? So I think they were like, it could have been that the thought process was, well, he's getting his own movie, in like the next,
that's true.
in the
It's
next
kinda
12
like-
months or something. So
It's kind of like why Captain Marvel wasn't really an Endgame that much. It's because she was doing her own movie, and
That's a great comparison.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
she was busy filming that while they were filming Endgame. That might have been the same.
Even though Aquaman is way better than Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is just way out of left field of how I feel like that's like the first true bad Marvel decision they made, like casting wise.
Yeah. J-Man says that the Joker scene was put in there too to see if the audience would be hungry for it. It's like hidden promotion. That's exactly
I
kind of what
told you.
yeah,
that's what I was kind of thinking was like Snyder's just been sitting around here for years. Like, okay, if I could put one scene in there to really excite the fan base, what would I do? And that's the one freaking scene that he came back and filmed. And yeah, I think that's totally accurate.
and that ever since that Joaquin Phoenix Joker came out, fucking Leto's been shooting ropes at the idea of just thinking that he could come back and play the Joker again.
Oh yeah, and he
Yeah,
did a damn good job in that scene.
Most definitely he did. But no, back to my comment. It's not like Brie Larson was the problem, even though I feel like she just really didn't really portray the character. It's just like I just felt like Marvel just went in a bad direction, like presentation with Captain Marvel. That was like my problem with it. But again, we're back to DC, and I don't know. Anything Marvel, I'm going to go off the wall on. Mikey says, we all knew that Aquaman sucks for like 60 years, but let's throw him in the film anyways. Well, I agree with that because, again, what the hell did he do? Actually, you know what? He's actually a good superhero because we don't know any of his villains because he does a good job keeping his ocean safe. Unlike damn Batman, he can't freak. He's got Joker, Bane, Mr. Freeze, and all these crazy people. And then we got Superman.
It's time to
we
kick
got
some
Doomsday.
ice.
Oh my gosh!
Everybody. Chill.
You're not taking me to the cooler.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
It's probably
The best Batman of all time, buddy. Batman and
Oh,
Robin.
dude, that could be a good drinking game. That's for sure.
I forgot about that. man.
Like
Should've
that
not
movie,
come
like
around.
Batman and Robin. It's just so bad it's good. That's the category I put it in.
on that note,
But
it's probably about time to wrap this thing up, guys.
Yeah, it
Well-
really is. So if y'all have any questions, last chance to put them in the comment section. We appreciate you all sticking with us for 2 hours and 18 minutes for us talking about the Snyder Cut. We really do appreciate that and the support. And as you're all getting your last couple of questions in, if y'all have any, Brad, you want to help me out about what we got going on this week?
Yeah, tomorrow we're doing a lunch club at noon with Chris Snyder is going to join us. We're going to be talking about WandaVision. We're going to talk some spoilers on that, and we're just going to briefly talk non-spoilers for the
Winter Soldier and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and just kind of in general the shows coming up on just how they're doing with these first couple shows on Disney Plus. Also tomorrow we have our Rambo 3 review coming out, which will be fun. We have a nice little that'll be a fun one. And then Wednesday we have Saul versus Collector.
We got Real Man at Monday too at J-Man. If you're still here, what time is that? Is that 9:00 still?
Yeah, it's at 9 tomorrow. And then
That'll be for Basic Instinct.
Yep. And then Wednesday we're going to be doing Slash It Out, Collector versus Saul. and
With moderator Chris Snyder.
Yep, yeah. So a lot of Chris on the show this week on the channel.
Oh yeah,
which is great. And
bottom Chris, you gotta be jealous on that one.
Yeah, and then Sunday we'll be coming back at you guys with the Spider-Verse over there on Chris Snyder's channel as well.
Yeah, so with Spider-Man, as we'll do on Spider-Man 3, and next Wednesday, y'all should get really excited because I know Chris down here is super excited for next Wednesday's episode of Beers with the Bros, where we finally, because Chris just would not shut up about it, we get to talk about the art of the push as we talk about Midsommar.
Right there, dude.
Now, I'm so sick of this. Where did you find all of these, dude? I'm coming down there, man. I'm telling you.
Brad, you're just being unbearable right now.
I know. God dang. Yeah, that's going to be a fun episode. But yeah, UTJ man's in the house. What's up, freaking Jimmy? How are you, my friend?
What's going on, my friend? And Mikey says later, guys. Thanks for the show tonight, Toronto Freddy. Peace, great stream. Which again, Toronto Freddy is the MVP of this stream for helping us with our just casual fandom of the DC universe. So again, thank you, Toronto Freddy, and thank you everybody else who has joined us. And for those that joined us after this, because we are going to put this on our podcast episode as well, because we know this is a long episode. So this will be available on Spotify and Apple freaking Podcast.
Woo! We will see you guys soon.
See you later, guys, and good night.
And good reels.
Peace, everybody.